Chapter 298, Looking at airships. Those silver desert wolves did not attack rashly. One of them, who was larger than the others and presumably the king, walked to the front. It howled fiercely at Yun Chuzhou. The other silver wolves followed suit. The earth-shattering howls were especially horrifying in the night. The faint-hearted would probably be scared to death. However, it was clear that Yun Chuzhou was not a timid person. She took out a thick dried willow branch from her storage ring and threw it on the ground. The Wolf King did not know what Yun Chuzhou meant to do and took a few steps back. Yun Chuzhou waved her right hand and a purple lightning bolt struck the dried willow branch. The thick dried willow branch was instantly split into two and black smoke rose up. The silver wolf pack was in an uproar. Demonic beasts were instinctively afraid of heavenly lightning. On top of that, Yun Chuzhou used a purple lightning bolt. The Wolf King howled a few times before the wolf pack quieted down. Its eyes flickered, obviously thinking of something. Yun Chuzhou's mind was not idle either. She kept thinking of countermeasures. Although she could temporarily suppress these silver desert wolves, she was outnumbered. Once they rushed up to her, she would not be able to hold them off. Yun Chuzhou observed for a moment. There were about a dozen silver desert wolves to the east. If she caught them off guard, she could run away. However, her speed was too slow. If she did so, she would still be caught. It would be good if there was something that could hold them off. If she threw out the body of the single-horned demon lizard, she might be able to delay them. However, she really could not bear to do so. She had not dug out the demon core of the single-horned demon lizard yet. That was a lot of points. Moreover, the body of a Tier 8 demonic beast was also very expensive. It could be exchanged for a lot of spirit stones. She should have kept the bodies of the desert scorpions. In the future, one must learn from one's mistakes. One could not abandon anything at will. The rolling pin was on the verge of tears. This master was really willing to sacrifice her life and not her wealth. They were already in such a dire situation, yet she was still worried about some bullshit points. Yun Chuzhou used her spiritual sense to rummage through her storage ring. Finally, she found the corpses of more than 10 low-level demon beasts in a corner. Those were the windblade rabbits that Yun Chuzhou hunted in the mountains behind Spirit Radiance sect. They were supposed to be barbecued. Yun Chuzhou immediately had an idea. She pointed at the sky. Look! An airship. Airship? The wolf pack subconsciously raised their heads to look at the sky. Yun Chuzhou shot a bolt of lightning toward the silver wolves to her east. She did not strike the silver wolves with the lightning. Wolves were extremely vengeful animals. If they were hurt, they would definitely pursue her relentlessly. It was better not to make enemies. The few silver wolves on the east side subconsciously dodged. Yun Chuzhou immediately ran out. Yun Chuzhou threw away the rabbit corpses in her storage ring as she ran. Some of the silver wolves stopped to eat the corpses. The Wolf King howled a few times, leaving a few silver wolves to guard the corpses. It continued to chase after Yun Chuzhou with the rest of the pack. Yun Chuzhou could not help but curse in her heart. This Wolf King was really fucking smart. The speed of the wolf pack was extremely fast. Just as Yun Chuzhou was frowning, she realized that there was a sand slope in front of her. She quickly curled her body into a ball and rolled down. The Wolf King was stunned. Then, it took the lead to follow Yun Chuzhou's example and rolled down. The rest of the silver wolves followed suit and rolled down the sand slope. Yun Chuzhou was on the verge of breaking down. This Wolf King was about to succeed. Not long after, the wolf pack once again surrounded Yun Chuzhou in the middle. The Wolf King raised its head high, looking very proud. It howled a few times, and all the wolves dug their front paws into the ground, ready to attack. They were waiting for the Wolf King to give the order to pounce on Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chujio was about to sadly throw the demon lizard's corpse away. The Wolf King probably would not trust the other wolves to guard the Tier 8 demon beast's corpse, and she had some confidence in getting rid of the other wolves. At that moment, there was a commotion among the wolves. Chapter 299, Yun Chujio had a surgery. Yun Chujio stretched her neck to take a look. She saw a slightly smaller silver wolf lying on the ground and twitching in pain. Its belly bulged. It was actually a pregnant female wolf. The Wolf King let out a few anxious howls and gently nudged the female wolf's head with its head. The Wolf King was so nervous. It seemed that the female wolf was the queen of the wolf pack. The female wolf still did not get better and kept howling. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. The Wolf King had no time to even care about her then. If she did not run, when would she be able to? Just when Yun Chujio was about to run away, the Wolf King turned around and walked straight to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio was stunned. What did he mean by that? Did he not care about his wife anymore? The Wolf King howled at Yun Chujio and pointed at the twitching female wolf with his front paw. Yun Chujio immediately understood what it meant. She pointed at the female wolf and said, "You mean you want me to help you save the female wolf?" Although the Wolf King did not understand Yun Chujio's words, it still understood her body language and nodded. Oh heavens! She was not a veterinarian. How could she save it? The female wolf was probably having a difficult labor, right? Should she perform a cesarean section on it? Yun Chujio was quite bold. She actually walked to the female wolf's side, squatted down, and looked at it. Yun Chujio took out the large kitchen knife from her storage ring, and then gestured at the female wolf's stomach. Hey, I can only cut open her abdominals, take out the little wolf, and then sew it back together. Do you agree? The Wolf King had really figured Yun Chujio's intentions. It hesitated for a moment and then nodded. If a demonic beast had difficulty giving birth, there was a high chance that both mother and son would die in the end. Now, it could only trust this little human girl. Yun Chujio took out a wind-edge rabbit's corpse from her storage ring. She took out its intestines and washed it clean to make a meat thread. Then, she took out a needle and inserted the meat thread into the eye of the needle. Yun Chujio took out a few spirit-gathering pills and stuffed them into the female wolf's mouth to prevent the female wolf from losing its strength. Then, she fed the female wolf a few sleeping pills. After the female wolf fell asleep, she began to carry out the surgery with a large kitchen knife. Although Yun Chujio had never done any surgery before, she was still very familiar with the structure of demon beasts because she used to roast many demon beasts. The Wolf King stared at Yun Chujio without blinking. Could this little girl really do it? It had never heard of humans having such a method to deliver a baby. Perhaps their mystical realms were too closed off, and the new method that humans had developed might be able to do it. Yun Chujio easily cut open the female wolf's belly and cut a small hole in the female wolf's uterus. She gently took out the cub inside and cut the umbilical cord. Yun Chujio was afraid that the cub would freeze to death, so she made a quilt and wrapped the wolf cub in it. The Wolf King commanded a few female wolves to use their bodies to warm the wolf cub. Only then did Yun Chujio start to sew the female wolf's wound with the meat thread. Yun Chujio did not do any needlework at all, so the wound was crooked. Regardless, it was finally closed. Yun Chujio shattered the supreme grade blood clotting pill and sprinkled it on the wound. As expected of the supreme grade blood clotting pill, the female wolf's wound began to visibly heal. The Wolf King's eyes began to glow green. Well, it was originally glowing green already. How can humans have such a miraculous pill? How can it stop the bleeding so quickly? After a while, the female wolf woke up. Having taken the spirit-gathering pill previously, it was still in a pretty good mental state. Yun Chujio let out a long breath. The operation was considered a success. Yun Chujio stood up and was about to leave when the Wolf King suddenly blocked her. Fuck. What did it mean? Could it be that this was going to be the story of the Wolf of Zhongshan? 1. Chapter 300, Mushroom Rings. The Wolf King howled a few times. Yun Chuzhou thought about it and finally understood what it meant. The Wolf King meant that it could escort her out of the desert, but it wanted the supreme-grade blood coagulation pills. Yun Chuzhou bargained with the Wolf King and finally settled on 2 bottles of supreme-grade blood coagulation pills. The Wolf King chose 8 strong silver wolves to escort Yun Chuzhou. She did not know what fear and shamelessness meant. After she left the Wolf King's sight, she would use a few supreme-grade blood coagulation pills as reward to get the silver wolves to take turns to be her mounts. She happily sat on the silver wolves' backs, humming a little tune as they traveled east. When a certain realm spirit saw this scene, it was so angry that it almost vomited blood. I asked you to eat Yun Chuzhou, not escort her and be her bodyguards. You actually became her freaking mount. How can you wolves be so cheap? You threw away your honor just for a couple pills. The realm spirit's energy bounced around wildly, and in the end, a sinister smile appeared on its face. This little girl has many tricks up her sleeve. It seems that the demonic beasts can't deal with her, so will let her own kind deal with her. Humph. Humans are the most greedy and shameless, and during these so-called trials, they kill each other over a few spirit herbs. Yes, those few people who have a different attire from Yun Chuzhou are vicious. They will do it. 2 days later, Yun Chuzhou finally arrived at the edge of the desert under the escort of the 8 silver wolves. Yun Chuzhou waved her small claws at the 8 silver wolves, then continued hopping and walking toward the east. There were some low shrubs growing sparsely at the edge of the desert. Occasionally, she could see some low-level demon beasts. Yun Chuzhou felt that from then on, her trial path would return to normal. However, she still felt that something was fishy. Did they not say that the highest level demon beast in this mystical realm was Tier 4? Why did she encounter a Tier 8 single-horned demon lizard, and then a group of Tier 5 silver desert wolves? Was it because she was unlucky or something? Humph. If she knew who was scheming behind her back, she would not let him off. A certain realm spirit sneezed twice and then continued scheming. After passing the edge of the desert, there was a vast grassland. Yun Chuzhou looked at the green and was in a good mood. Suddenly, her eyes lit up and she ran toward a place. Mushroom ring. I'm so lucky. I can use it to stew the remaining red-feathered chicken in my storage ring. Mushroom rings, as the name implied, were mysterious rings on the prairie. When one approached them, they would discover that they were formed by many delicious mushrooms. Seeing the white and tender mushrooms, Yun Chuzhou was so hungry that her saliva flowed out. She picked them in no time and put them into her storage ring. Yun Chuzhou was not in a hurry to start a fire to cook. Instead, she hastily ate a few buns and continued on her journey. She did not plan to spend the night in the prairie. If she encountered a demon beast at night, there would be nothing to hide in the prairie, so she was a little uncertain. When the sun was about to set, Yun Chuzhou finally walked out of the grassland and entered a valley. Yun Chuzhou climbed to the top of a big tree and looked at the surrounding terrain. She was very satisfied. There were trees, flowers, gurgling streams, and some low-level demon beasts. They set up camp here and did not go anywhere. She would just wait for the trial to end and be teleported out. Besides, with the single-horned demon lizard's demon core, she was most definitely guaranteed first place. Yun Chuzhou found a hidden cave. The most peculiar thing was that Yun Chuzhou found it behind the stone wall. It was probably created by the disciples from the previous trial. It was really a good place to plot against people. Chapter 301, Were These Humans Pigs? Yun Chuzhou tidied up a little and started making chicken stew with mushrooms. Soon, the fragrance filled the entire cave. The silver dragon floated out from the rolling pin and the 2 foodies ate happily. After eating and drinking, Yun Chujio made the rolling pin stand guard at the entrance of the cave as she fell asleep. Master! Someone's coming. The rolling pin hopped into the cave. Yun Chujio quickly jumped up and put out the campfire with water. Then, she took the rolling pin and hid in the dark cave. Yun Chujio took off the spirit concealing ring and peeked out through the gap of the dark cave. Junior brother Sun, it seems that someone has made a campfire here. The person speaking was a male disciple of Heavenly Gates sect. Yun Chujio knew him. He was the Wang Dongliang who was defeated by Mozwa in the last arena match. Senior brother Wang, there are no other spiritual fluctuations here. The person from before must have left. Even if he didn't leave, he wouldn't dare to provoke us. With our strength alone, who would dare to provoke us? The person speaking was someone with a duck's voice. It was Sun Liang, who was forced by Yun Chujio to write a confession. Zhang Xiong, quickly bring those 3 girls in. This place can be used as our bridal chamber. Ha! Sun Liang's face revealed a lewd expression as he laughed evilly. Another 3 people came in from behind. One of them had a hooked nose, it was Elder Zhang's grandson, Zhang Xiong. The other 2 people also looked somewhat familiar. Back when they were competing at Spirit Radiance sect, they had also been on the stage. The 3 of them each pushed a woman whose hands were tied with ropes as they walked in with a mischievous smile. The 3 women were Yun Chu, Yun Chuki, and Su Yun. Yun Chujio clenched her teeth as she watched from behind. Now that the 3 of them were in their hands, she could not be impulsive. She had to think of a foolproof plan. These 3 girls are each more beautiful than the other. Let's play here for a few days first. When the time comes, we can go out and fight for some spiritual herbs to get points. Zhang Xiong said as he touched Su Yun's face with his hand. Su Yun's spiritual power must have been restrained. She had something stuffed in her mouth and was trying her best to dodge him. Bitch! I advise you to be sensible. Serve us well, and maybe we will spare your lives. Otherwise, we'll kill you when we're done. Zhang Xiong pinched Su Yun's face. Zhang Xiong, why are you so anxious? Let's eat first, and then we'll have a good time. Sun Liang asked Zhang Xiong and the others to tie their feet with ropes and push them to the corner of the wall. The 5 of them took out some dry food from their storage bags and began to eat dinner. While eating, they also said some lewd words. They did not notice that there were wisps of smoke coming out from the gap in the wall behind them. Yun Chu and the other 2 who were leaning against the wall fainted first. Then, Zhang Xiong and the other 3 also began to feel that something was amiss. Hey! Why do I feel lightheaded? Me too. What's going on? Could it be that someone poisoned? Before the 5 of them could finish their words, they all fainted one after another. Yun Chujio walked out from behind the dark wall and fed each of the 5 of them a spirit-devouring powder. Then, she took out a rope and tied them into a string. Only then did she start to feed the 3 women the antidote and loosen the rope. 5th sister. 7th sister. Senior sister Su. Wake up. Soon, the 3 of them woke up. When they saw that it was Yun Chujio who saved them, they were all pleasantly surprised. Is there anything wrong with your bodies? The reason why Yun Chujio did not kill the 5 people immediately was that she was afraid that they fed Yun Chu and the others poison or something. Little Jiu, we're fine. They only fed us the spirit-devouring powder. Yun Chujio nodded. Then there was nothing to worry about. Yun Chujio walked in front of the 5 people, took out a large kitchen knife, and hacked them to death one by one. Then, she searched their storage bags and generously put their possessions into hers. When a certain realm spirit saw the scene, it cursed angrily, "Idiot! Idiot! Are these 5 humans pigs? How could they be hacked to death just like that? Humph! I'll do something else. I don't believe that Yun Chujio has such good luck." Chapter 302, I need to sleep. Although Yun Chu and the others were already used to Yun Chujia's ferocity, they were still a little shocked when she chopped off their heads like a carrot. Yes, little Jiu was indeed brave. Yun Chujio looked at the 5 corpses on the ground and muttered, "Sigh, I miscalculated. I should have dragged them outside and chopped them up there. The clean cave is now dirty. 5th sister, help me drag them inside." Yun Chujio ordered Yun Chu and the others to drag the 5 corpses into the secret room. Then, she cleaned up the blood stains on the ground and asked, "How did you get caught by them?" Yun Chuki gnashed her teeth and said, "This morning, when we were collecting purple hawk grass, we met these 5 people. We originally planned to crush the jade tokens, but we did not expect the Bai siblings and Yun Chushan to rush over. They said that we're all from Spirit Radiance sect, so we have to be unanimous at a time like this and face outsiders together. It was 6 against 5, so we weren't afraid of them. Moreover, the Bai siblings' spiritual power is very high. We didn't expect that the 3 of them would actually help those 5 people to restrain us while fighting. We didn't even have the chance to crush the jade tokens." Yun Chujio sighed. "What did I tell you? You can't let your guard down. You'll learn your lesson this time, won't you?" Yun Chu and Yun Chuki hung their heads in shame and did not say a word. If they had not met little Jiu, they would definitely have lost their lives. "Senior Sister Su, please keep what happened today a secret to prevent the Heavenly Gate sect from taking revenge." Yun Chujio looked at Su Yun by the side and thought to herself, "Senior Sister Su has already been implicated twice by us. It could be fate." Su Yun nodded. She was grateful for Yun Chujia's life-saving grace, and she was also shocked by Yun Chujia's valiant behavior, so she naturally would not raise any objections. "Let's make do here for the night, and discuss the next step tomorrow." Yun Chujio yawned and said. "Little Jiu, go ahead and sleep. I'll be on night duty." After this matter, Yun Chuki's actions became more steady. "Alright, the 3 of you take turns to be on night duty. I won't participate. After all, I'm still young. I have to ensure that I sleep and grow well." Yun Chujio said shamelessly. Yun Chu and the other 2 were speechless. At the same time, Elder Zhang, the leader of the Heavenly Gates sect, cried out miserably outside the array formation. "Little Xiong! Who killed my grandson?" The other elders of Heavenly Gates immediately surrounded him. "Elder Zhang, what's wrong?" Elder Zhang took out a broken jade token and said with tears flowing down his face, "Little Xiong's jade token was broken. My grandson was killed." Everyone comforted him. Every time a disciple died in a trial, there was nothing they could do about it. "I gave him several defensive spirit tools. How could he die? How is this possible?" Elder Zhang still could not accept the fact that his grandson was dead. Maybe he encountered a group of demonic beasts and died. "Elder Zhang, don't be sad." Elder Zhang said with a cracked voice as he stared at Yazi, "If it was a demonic beast, it's fine. But if I find out my grandson was killed by a person, I won't forgive him." Yun Chujio sneezed twice in her sleep and turned over to continue sleeping. Yes, she made a small fortune today. Not bad, not bad. The next morning, the 4 of them had breakfast and gathered to discuss their next step. Yun Chujio originally wanted to wait for the trial to end, but after hearing about Yun Chuki and the others' encounter, she felt that the Bai siblings were up to something. She was a little worried about Yun Chuzi and the others, so they decided to look for Yun Chuzi and the rest. They were truly enemies on a narrow road. 1. The 4 of them walked out for less than an hour and had bumped into the Bai siblings and Yun Chushan. Chapter 303, Lying Through Her Teeth, You Guys Didn't Die. Bai Moru cried out in surprise. Bai Moyu glared at Bai Moru, and he hurriedly added, "What Moru means is that it's great that you guys are fine. They have the advantage in numbers." When we saw that you guys were taken away, we were really helpless. Now that we've gathered all of our senior and junior brothers, we were going to save you guys." The few Spirit Radiant sect disciples behind him chimed in, "That's right. Senior Brother Bai told us that you were all taken away by the people from Heavenly Gates sect and were going to save all of you." When Yun Chu and the other two heard Bai Moyu altering the truth, they were so angry that their faces turned red. "Bai Moyu, you're spouting nonsense. It's clear that the three of you colluded with the people of Heavenly Gates sect." Bai Moyu's face was filled with shock. "Junior sisters, although we may have some personal grudges in the past, we are all disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. How could we do such a terrible thing? Junior sisters, you can't malign us just because we weren't able to save you back then because of our limited abilities." Yun Chushan also said softly from the side, "That's right. The 5 individuals from Heavenly Gates sect had superb spiritual power, and we really had no choice. We're also very sympathetic to your suffering. After all, as women, after encountering such a thing, it's indeed, slap. Slap." Before Yun Chushan could finish her words, Yun Chujio slapped her twice. Yun Chushan was stunned by the slap. She never expected that Yun Chujio would slap her without a word. "Yun Chushan, shut your stinky mouth. You want to know what happened? Truthfully, those 5 people encountered a demonic beast horde and were already doomed." Bai Moya's eyes flashed, "They encountered a group of demonic beasts. How are you all fine?" Yun Chujio sneered, "Hearing what you said, are you regretful that we didn't die? The 5 of them discovered a high-grade bright lotus plant and made my 3rd sister and the others fight for that bright lotus plant. I took this opportunity to save them. It's really a case of karma. They didn't expect that the bright lotus plant would be guarded by a group of 5-ringed, silver-horned snakes. When we left, they were already surrounded by that group of 5-ringed, silver-horned snakes." Although Yun Chu and the other 2 did not have any expression on their faces, they were dumbfounded in their hearts. "Little Jiu, how on earth did you train your ability to lie through your teeth? You speak of fictional things as if they're real. If we weren't personally witnessing it, we would have believed you. Moreover, these words could be used to advance or retreat when needed. Even if the 5 corpses were discovered, they could still justify themselves. After all, when they left, those 5 people were not dead yet. Anything could have happened after." Bai Moyu and the others saw that Yun Chujio and the others' expressions were very natural, and what they said was reasonable. After all, the temptation of high-grade earth-rank spirit medicines was too great. If it were them, they would also go and pick them at all costs. Yun Chujio originally wanted to find an opportunity to kill the Bai siblings and Yun Chushan, but now that the other disciples of Spirit Radiance sect were there, it was not easy to do so. Therefore, Yun Chujio planned to bring Yun Chu and the others away. Bai Moya's eyes flickered a few times. "Junior sisters, why don't you follow us? There's strength in numbers. Even if we meet people from Heavenly Gates sect, we aren't afraid." Although Bai Moyu said so, he felt that Yun Chujio and the others definitely would not agree. Unexpectedly, Yun Chujio said with a clear voice, "All right. Let's go together." Yun Chujio thought to herself, "Since we can't find 4th brother and the others for the time being, why don't we follow Bai siblings and the others? At least we can prevent them from framing 4th brother and the others." Chapter 304, Yun Chujio must stay. Although Yun Chu and the others did not know what Yun Chujio meant, they were already used to going with Yun Chujio's arrangements, so they did not say anything. Bai Moya's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness. "It's great that you're all throwing your lives away." In the next few days, Yun Chujio and the others trained with the Bai siblings. However, Yun Chujio's actions angered the Bai siblings. Every time a demonic beast came, Yun Chujio would retreat far away and cheer them on. "Good fight. Put in more effort. I have high hopes for you. Bai Moyu, Bai Moru." You two have the highest spiritual power, hurry up and attack. Why aren't you exerting your strength? Are you not willing to let us benefit from your prestige? Baimoru angrily shouted, Yun Chujio, why aren't you attacking? Yun Chujio said with a matter-of-factly, because my spiritual power is the lowest and am the youngest. You guys are so powerful. Shouldn't you take care of a young seedling like me? Besides, I don't share your spoils of war. What are you unhappy about? You. Baimoru almost choked. Yun Chujio kept her word. She really did not want any spoils of war. It was as if she was just watching the scenery with them. The others did not have any thought seeing Yun Chujio acting like that. After all, she was only at the 4th level of spirit enhancement. Even if she participated in the battle, she would not be of much help. They were so happy that they did not have to share anything. That day, they found a piece of black category, low-grade jade bell flower, and they were extremely excited. Oh my God! There are more than 100 of them. Our points will increase significantly. That's right. Our luck is really great. This is a black category, low-grade spirit herb. Today's harvest is equivalent to a few days' harvest. What made them even more ecstatic was that that piece of jade bell flower did not even have a single demonic beast guarding it. Their luck was simply superb. The group had just picked a few jade bell flowers when they heard a sneer. Stop! These jade bell flowers belong to Heavenly Gate sect. If you don't want to die, get lost. The people from Spirit Radiance sect raised their heads and saw more than a dozen Heavenly Gate sect disciples. They were clustered around a beautiful woman. It was Su Yenran. Su Yenran glared at Yun Chujio viciously and then inadvertently exchanged looks with the Bai siblings. The one who spoke was a male disciple of the Heavenly Gate sect. His attitude was extremely arrogant. Didn't you hear what I just said? Quickly leave. Otherwise, they'll take your little lives. The disciples of Spirit Radiance sect immediately became indignant. Are you being reasonable? We were the ones who discovered these jade bell flowers first. Reasonable? We only care about brawn. Why don't we spar? With our junior sister Su here, all of you will die. The disciple of Heavenly Gate sect said proudly. Along the way, they had robbed many disciples from Spirit Radiance sect. They were practically invincible. Baimoyu seemed to be in a difficult position. He thought for a moment and said, everyone, although these jade bell flowers are hard to come by, we don't stand to lose much. There might be high-grade spirit herbs ahead. Let's go. Although the other disciples of Spirit Radiance sect were unwilling, the Bai siblings had the highest spiritual power, so they could only obey. Just as the disciples were about to leave, Su Yenran said, you can leave, but leave Yun Chujio behind. I want to resolve some personal grudges with her. Baimoya's eyes flashed, and he said in a difficult manner, Cousin Yenran, can you let Yun Chujio go this time on account of your brother? Su Yenran sneered, Cousin, we belong to two different sects, so don't try to build a relationship like in the secular world anymore. Yun Chujio must stay. Otherwise, all of you will die. Baimoyu pretended to be troubled, turned around, and asked the people of Spirit Radiance sect, everyone, although this decision is very difficult, the bigger picture is more important. Let's go. Chapter 305, If you step out of the ring, you lose. Yun Chu sneered, if you want to leave, you can leave. We won't give up on little Jill. Yun Chuki and Su Yun also stood in front of Yun Chujio, protecting Yun Chujio behind them. The other disciples of Spirit Radiance sect looked at Baimoyu and then at Yun Chujio, feeling a little conflicted. Su Yanran's spiritual power was superb, and they were indeed no match for her. However, they would not be able to live with their conscience if they disregarded the lives of their fellow disciples. Seeing their hesitation, Baimoya's eyes flashed as he said, everyone, I understand your feelings, but even if we fight head-on, it'll only cost us our lives. It won't be of much use. Since that's the case, why strike a stone with an egg, one? Baimoru was somewhat impatient and said with a sullen face, forget it if you don't want to leave. Brother, let's go. When the people of Spirit Radiance sect saw that the Bai siblings and Yun Chushan had left, they felt a little scared. The three strongest people had already left. If they stayed here, would they not be waiting for death? Yun Chujio looked at them and said faintly, Senior brothers, you can leave. I won't blame you. After all, we're not relatives. We're just fellow disciples. Last time, I offended Su Yenran for the sake our Spirit Radiance sect's honor. Consider this as something I deserve. Fifth sister, you guys should leave too. Let me die in the hands of Heavenly Gate sect. For the sake of our Spirit Radiance sect, I'll die without regrets. When the disciples heard those words, they could not help but blush with shame. That was right. Why did Su Yenran want to kill Yun Chujio? Was it not because Yun Chujio defeated her in the competition previously? Why did Yun Chujio want to? She wanted to protect Spirit Radiance sect's honor. They actually wanted to escape at the last minute and hand over the lives of their fellow disciples to the Heavenly Gate sect. Were they even worthy of being members of Spirit Radiance sect? They were simply not human. Junior sister Little Jill, we're not leaving. At most, we'll die together. 20 years later, we'd still be the good guys. Right. We're not leaving. Even if we die, we'll drag someone down with us. What's so great about Heavenly Gate sect? Damn it. It's still not certain who will win or lose in the end. Bai Moyu, who had walked some distance, could not help but frown. However, now that things had come to this point, there was no way to end it, so he could only continue walking forward. In any case, these people would die in the end, and the sect would not be able to trace it back to them. Seeing that the disciples of Spirit Radiance sect were naturally good people, Yun Chujio decided to put away her tricks. Yun Chujio motioned for everyone to stand back, and then looked at Su Yenran a few times. Su Yenran, you forgot something very important. You can't kill us. We just need to crush the Jade Token and we'll be out of this mystic realm. Su Yenran was stunned. That was right. How did she forget about that? The disciples of Spirit Radiance sect all slapped their thighs. That's right, they did not need to die at all. They had all been led astray by Baimoyu. They would be fine once they crushed the Jade Token. How stupid. Su Yenran, I know that you feel very indignant about losing to me last time. How about this? I'm the kindest person. I'll give you a chance. Let's have another competition. If I lose, I promise that I'll never use the teleportation Jade Token. If you lose, you'll immediately take your people and leave. Also, you're not allowed to cause trouble for us in this mystic realm. Whoever breaks the oath will be struck by lightning. Do you dare to agree? Besides, I'd already crushed my Jade Token. I wouldn't be able to use it even if I wanted to. Su Yenran thought that as long as Yun Chujio did not use the teleportation Jade Token, she would have the confidence to kill her. Hence, she sneered, all right. I agree. Let's do it. Ah, your personality is really too impetuous. No wonder you can't beat me. I haven't said the rules yet. Let's draw a circle. Whoever comes out of the circle first will lose. How about it? If you agree, we'll take an oath. Su Yenran snorted coldly and swore. Yun Chujio, who was at the side, also made a decent vow. Then, she took out a rolling pin and drew a circle with a diameter of about 30 feet. Yun Chujio and Su Yenran entered the circle. Yun Chujio was happy. Come on. Let's begin. Come and beat me to your heart's content. The people of Spirit Radiance sect could not bear to look at her. Junior sister Little Jill, are you stupid? Who asks for a beating themselves? Chapter 306, Just Playing with You. Su Yanran looked at Yun Chujio suspiciously. This bitch has many bad ideas. Did she prepare some chili noodles again? Humph. You can only use that insidious trick once. If you use it again, I'll use my spiritual power to put up a spiritual shield. You can't hurt me. Come on, be happy. There's a lot of time anyway. Yun Chujio hummed a little tune and signaled Su Yanran to come hither. Su Yanran was livid and slapped Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio did not even dodge. She just stood there calmly and continued humming a tune. Yun Chu and the others were so scared that they closed their eyes. It was over. Su Yanran's cultivation was at the peak of the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm. This slap would definitely kill Yun Chujio. Huh? Why did they not hear Yun Chujio scream? Everyone opened their eyes and saw that Yun Chujio was still standing there with a smile on her face. On the other hand, Su Yanran had a dumbfounded look on her face. Why you have a defensive spirit tool on you? Yun Chujio shrugged her shoulders. Yes, there's nothing I can do. I'm too weak. Our sect leader gave me dozens of defensive spirit tools to protect myself. Go ahead and fight. I reckon that you won't be able to hit me even if we fight until tomorrow morning. When the time comes, I'll just kick you out of the circle. Whether it was the people from Spirit Radiance sect or those from Heavenly Gates sect, they all had blank expressions. Dozens of defensive spirit tools. Yun Chujio, are you kidding us? Not to mention you're an unimportant servant. Even the sect elders don't have that many, okay? Su Yanran gritted her teeth in anger. You're spouting nonsense. I'm going to beat you to death today. Yun Chujio spread her hands. You don't believe me? Then hit me. I'll sit down and rest. After saying that, Yun Chujio really sat down on the ground and took out a spiritual fruit and started eating it. Su Yanran was so angry that her head was about to smoke. She hit Yun Chujio more than 10 times in a row. Unfortunately, these attacks were all blocked by an invisible spiritual barrier when they were 1 foot away from Yun Chujio. Su Yanran refused to believe it and continued to wave her palms. Yun Chujio suddenly smiled at Su Yanran and said in a crisp voice, Su Yanran, I'm going to use hidden weapons. Be careful. Su Yanran was afraid that Yun Chujio would use the chili again, so she quickly raised her spiritual shield. She did not expect Yun Chujio to smile evilly before saying, I'm just playing with you. You're so gullible. Su Yanran was so angry that she kept twitching. She removed her spiritual shield and tried to hit Yun Chujio again. Unexpectedly, Yun Chujio raised her hand again. Su Yanran, I really used a hidden weapon this time. Su Yanran quickly raised her spiritual shield again. Then, she heard Yun Chujio giggle. You idiot. I was just teasing you. After doing this a few times, Su Yanran was about to explode with anger. Hence, when Yun Chujio said she would use a hidden weapon again, she did not dodge at all. Instead, she raised her hand and attacked Yun Chujio. Unexpectedly, Yun Chujio was serious this time. She threw a big sack at Su Yanran. Su Yanran wanted to use her spiritual energy shield, but it was too late, so she quickly turned to the side. Before Su Yanran could react, Yun Chujio threw a few big sacks at her. Su Yanran was afraid that there were chili inside, so she did not dare to hit them and could only dodge. Ha! You're out of the ring. You lost. Yun Chujio clapped her hands and said with a smile. Su Yanran looked down. She was so focused on avoiding those sacks that she was indeed out of the ring. Why you cheated? Su Yanran could not accept the fact that she had lost again. There's no such thing as cheating in war, do you understand? Cut the crap and leave quickly. We still have to pick the jade bell flowers. We don't have the time to deal with you. Yun Chujio put the sacks on the ground into her storage ring. The items inside precious and could not be discovered by others. Su Yanren's beautiful face contorted with anger, and she was bleeding from her fingernails. However, cultivators valued oaths very much. If they broke an oaths, not only would they be punished by the heavens, they would also form inner demons. Therefore, although they were unwilling, they could only leave with the people of the Tian sect in anger. A certain realm's spiritual energy crashed into the wall. Trash. Trash. How could there be such a huge difference in intelligence between people who lived on the same continent? Are you all pig-brained? Just kill them immediately. You still want to make a bet out of it? Can that pig brain of yours beat a little weird like Yunchujo? Looks like the realm spirit would have to personally make a move. Chapter 307, Little Gio was still inside. Junior sister Little Gio, you're really great at the art of deception. The people of the Heavenly Gate sect have suffered a loss. Junior sister Little Gio, you're really too smart. Junior sister Little Gio, don't tell me that your sack is filled with chili noodles. Yun Chujio waved her little claws. It's a small matter not worth mentioning. Everyone, hurry up and pick these jade bell flowers, lest others take advantage of them. Everyone felt that it made sense and quickly picked the jade bell flowers. Yun Chujio claimed that she was on sentry duty, but in reality, she was standing idly by the side. Suddenly, the sky began to darken. A huge pressure descended on the entire trial mystic realm. Many disciples could not help but kneel on the ground. Some even began to pant. Yun Chujia's scalp was slightly numb. She quickly shouted to the people behind her, things are changing. Hurry up and crush the jade tokens to get out. The people did not dare to delay. They crushed the jade token and disappeared on the spot. Little Gio, don't just stand there. Quickly take out the jade token. Yun Chu quickly said when she saw that Yun Chujio did not move. Yun Chujio smiled bitterly in her heart. She wanted to crush it, but her jade token was a fucking defective product. Yun Chujio did not tell the truth. If she did, Yun Chu and Yun Chuki definitely would not go out. Thus, she said, you guys go first. I'll join you at the end. Yun Chu and Yun Chuki were used to following Yun Chujia's orders. After hearing her words, they crushed their jade tokens and disappeared. Sigh. They're all gone. I don't know if I can use this jade token from Heavenly Gate sect. Let me try. Yun Chujio took out a jade token that she had found on Zhang Xiong and the others. After crushing it, there was no reaction. Sigh, I knew it. This jade token is connected to spiritual sense. It's useless to use someone else's. Although Yun Chujio had already expected that, she was still a little disappointed. Humph. I want to see what kind of tricks this mystic realm is playing. Yun Chujio simply sat cross-legged on the ground and began to cultivate. The pressure in the mystic realm grew stronger and stronger. Other than Yun Chujio, the trial disciples had all crushed their jade tokens and were teleported out of the mystic realm. Outside the mystic realm, the elders of Spirit Radiance sect and Heavenly Gate sect did not pay much attention to it at first. They thought that the disciples that were teleported out had encountered some kind of demonic beast. However, as more and more people came out, they felt that something was amiss. After the elders interrogated them, they finally understood that something had happened inside the mystic realm. Therefore, they began to count the number of people. Both Spirit Radiance sect and Heavenly Gate sect had lost more than 10 people, which was normal. Disciples would perish in every trial. However, why did the ancient mystic realm suddenly underwent a change? Elder Xiao. Elder Chu. Little Gio hasn't come out yet. Little Gio is still inside. Yun Chu said with a sobbing voice. After Yun Chu and the others came out, they waited for a long time but still didn't see Yun Chuzhou come out. They immediately panicked. Elder Xiao and Elder Chu looked at each other, and their hearts moved. Could it be that Yun Chuzhou caused the change in the mystic realm? Elder Zhang of Heavenly Gates sect had lost his grandson, so he was not in the mood to keep track of the results. Instead, he kept finding people to interrogate about Zhang Xiong. Bai Moya's eyes flickered. Yun Chuzhou had most likely died in the mystic realm. Otherwise, he could pin Zhang Xiong's death on Yun Chuzhou through Yanren's cousin's mouth. She was lucky to have died in the mystic realm. Su Yanran also heard that Yun Chuzhou did not come out, and she could not help but smile coldly. Good that she was dead. Yun Chuzhou, didn't you boast that you were smart? Yet, you died in the mystic realm. Chapter 308, The Realm Spirit that was dumber than a pig. Since this was an unexpected situation, both sects were caught unprepared. However, they decided to wait and observe. The Heavenly Gates sect decided to see if they could find any clues because Elder Zhang had not found out the cause of Zhang Xiong's death. Spirit Radiance sect was naturally doing this for Yun Chuzhou. She was a rare Heavenly Thunder root spirit. Most importantly, regardless of whether anyone admitted it or not, Yun Chuzhou was Patriarch Ling Hua's personal disciple. Nothing must happen to her. However, Elder Xiao and Elder Chu had an inexplicable feeling that Yun Chuzhou would not die. After all, she was a little weird who could not be killed even after 10 hours of heavenly lightning strikes. How could she die so easily? After a certain realm spirit forced all the disciples in the trial to leave, it secretly withdrew its pressure. If this continued, the low-level demon beasts in the mystic realm would probably choke on their farts too. The realm spirit thought of several ways to harm Yun Chuzhou, and in the end, it chose a plan that it was the most confident in. Yes, it decided to use heavenly lightning to strike Yun Chuzhou to death. Humph. Although you have the heavenly lightning root spirit, a person's veins and dantian contain a limited amount of lightning power. The power of lightning is the most brutal. This realm spirit will make you explode and die. Ha! I am really too smart. Yun Chuzhou noticed a thick and heavy dark cloud floating above her head. She smiled and said, "Yo, this mystic realm can even produce lightning? Interesting. Time to feed my grass." A certain realm spirit continuously directed the lightning elements in the mystic realm to gather together to form a purple lightning tribulation. Strike! Strike! Strike Yun Chuzhou to death! Boom! Boom! The sound of huge lightning strikes could be heard continuously. A certain realm spirit smiled smugly. "Little fellow, even if you have a heavenly lightning root spirit, you can't withstand so many bolts of tribulation lightning. It'll hack you to death. You can't use conventional method to deal with a little weirdo like her. You have to be rough." This realm spirit was smarter. Much better than those pig brains for sure. A certain realm spirit smiled smugly for a while, and then was dumbfounded. This is impossible. Why is nothing happening to Yun Chuzhou? She's still happily munching on a fruit. Also, why did my thunder element disappear? Sob sob. If there's no thunder element in the mystic realm, how can I intimidate those high-level demon beasts? The realm spirit was dumbfounded for a while, and then it finally turned its head around. Could it be that the thunder element had been swallowed by Yun Chuzhou? That was not right. If she had absorbed all the lightning energy, then she should have been blown up a long time ago. Why was she still alive and kicking? The realm spirit looked like it had nothing to live for. What should it do? Without the lightning element, the prestige of my realm spirit would be greatly reduced. It thought for a long time and decided to give Yun Chuzhou a chance to fight back. Hey! Yun Chuzhou! You're a little pervert that the heavens can't tolerate. Give me back the power of lightning that you have swallowed and they'll let you out. Yun Chuzhou chewed on the fruit and curled her lips. What the hell is this? Come out and speak. The realm spirit was hopping around. I'm not a thing. Yun Chuzhou nodded. Yes, what you said makes sense. You are indeed not a thing. Yun Chuzhou. I am a realm spirit. Aren't you afraid that I'll kill you if you offend me? The realm spirit realized that she had challenged it. Ah, it was so angry. This Yun Chuzhou was really too detestable. Haven't you already started to harm me? My jade token was faulty. The place where I was randomly teleported to had thousands of desert scorpions, a tier 8 single-horned devil lizard, and a group of tier 5 silver desert wolves. Oh right, and the lightning strike just now. Just keep attacking. I'll wait for you. Yun Chuzhou had already figured everything out the moment the realm spirit spoke. The realm spirit coughed dryly, feeling guilty. Who told you to have the heavenly thunder root spirit that the heavens doesn't allow? I was just following the heavens. You can't blame me. I even showed you mercy. Otherwise, I would have directly teleported you into the cactus thorn. Oh. Is that so? I thought there were some rules or restrictions or something. Yun Chuzhou said indifferently. The realm spirit almost fell to the ground. Fuck, this Yun Chuzhou was simply not human. How did she know? You. How did you know? Yun Chuzhou said vaguely as she chewed on the fruit, it's a bluff. I didn't expect you to be so stupid to admit it. You're even dumber than a pig. Ah, no. If I said that, it would be too insulting to a pig. Chapter 309, Furry Ball. A certain realm spirit was so angry that it jumped in front of Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou. Hurry up and apologize to me. Otherwise, I'll kill you. Yun Chuzhou looked at the little thing that was jumping in front of her and almost laughed until she passed out. What the hell was that? It was a furry ball with short limbs, jumping up and down as it walked. Did this furry ball become a spirit? Oh, it was a black ball of yarn. Stop laughing. If you laugh at me again, I'll get angry, the ball of yarn roared. Yun Chuzhou tried hard to hold back her laughter. She poked the ball of yarn with her hand. Hey, it feels pretty nice. The ball of yarn immediately shrank its hands and feet into the ball. Its black fur strangely turned light pink. Stop. You pervert. How dare you tease me? Yun Chuzhou's eyes lit up. Oh my. You can change colors. Interesting. Yun Chuzhou stretched out her claws again and kept poking. The ball of yarn turned from a light pink color to a bright red color like blood. It grinned. Then, it began to wail loudly. Wah! Wah! You're bullying me. No one would do that. Not only did you swallow my thunder element, you even teased me. I'm not going to live anymore. Yun Chuzhou touched her nose. Didn't I just poke it a few times? Is there a need for that? This realm spirit should be a good one, right? Why did it wail at the slightest disagreement? It did not matter that the furry was crying. It started to rain in the mystical realm. At first, it was drizzling, but later, it became a torrential downpour. All right. Don't cry anymore. You're smarter than a pig. Wah! Furry cried even harder, rolling on the ground as it did. Yun Chuzhou touched her forehead. All right. All right. I won't tease you anymore. Furry was still unwilling to let it go and continued to roll on the ground. Are you done yet? Get lost and cry far away. Yun Chuzhou was furious. She kicked Furry. Whoosh! The ball of yarn was kicked hundreds of feet away. It got up and angrily pointed at Yun Chuzhou, you vicious woman. How dare you kick me? I'll fight you to the death. The ball of yarn headed toward Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou took out a rolling pin and hit the ball of yarn. I told you to harm me. I told you to be smug. I told you to scold me. I told you to get lost. I told you to make a scene. Bang! 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 The ball of yarn was beaten into a blanket. The ball of yarn collapsed on the ground. It was truly regretful. Why did I have to provoke this scourge? I was looking for a beating. Wouldn't a normal person ingratiate themselves with me when they hear that I'm a realm spirit? Why did this little weirdo not only dare to laugh at me, but also hit me? She isn't human. She's a pervert. She's a scourge. Furry felt that it had nothing left to live for. For a realm spirit to experience what it experienced, it could be said that it had lost all its honor. Yun Chuzhou looked at a realm spirit who was motionless and her eyes flashed. She sighed and said, "Furry, I was so angry that I accidentally hit you. I'm really sorry." What? What? Furry could not believe its ears. Has the little witch changed her personality? She actually apologized to me. Furry, I'm not targeting you. I'm targeting that. Yun Chuzhou secretly pointed at the top. Didn't you listen to its instructions and set me up? At most, you're an accomplice. Moreover, you're also a victim. We share the same fate. What do you mean? I'm a victim too. Are you kidding me? How can I be a victim? I'm in a good place. Chapter 310, You will definitely be cheated. Yun Chuzhou quickly covered her mouth. Blinking her eyes, she said, "Ah, I spilled the beans. Just pretend that I didn't say anything. You're really good at being a spiritual cultivator. You're really not a victim, I'm just talking nonsense. Don't overthink it. Please don't overthink it." With Yun Chuzhou saying that, it would be strange if Furry did not overthink. Yun Chuzhou, you must be hiding something from me. Tell me quickly. Furry looked at Yun Chuzhou nervously. Yun Chuzhou frowned. It's really nothing. You're overthinking. Tell me quickly. Otherwise, I'll cry again. Furry felt that it was shameless. Other than crying, it had no other way to deal with this little weirdo, Yun Chuzhou. Sigh. All right. Then I'll tell you my little opinion. You don't have to take it to heart. Just treat it as if I am talking nonsense. Yun Chuzhou sighed and said helplessly. Tell me. Tell me. Furry widened its eyes and was extremely nervous. In this mystical realm, all the demon beasts listen to your command. If you say it will rain, then it will rain. If you say it will thunder, then it will thunder. Don't you think it's awesome to be in charge of this mystical realm? Yun Chuzhou asked with a smile. Furry's body suddenly swelled up, clearly very proud. TSK TSK TSK. Furry, you're actually very pitiful. Look, this mystic realm is now used by the low-level disciples of the four great sects for the trial, right? When they bring that mirror fragment and shine it on you, you have to open the door for them. When they come in, they're killing your demonic beasts and picking your spiritual herbs. You can't even do a thing about it. Don't you think that you're like a watchdog? Also, your realm spirit might look impressive, but you don't have any real abilities. Even after another 10,000 years, you'll still be like this. Perhaps some mighty figure may not like this mystic realm and will destroy it. Then, you'll be dead. TSK TSK, you've been trapped in this small world for your entire life. It's really sad and lamentable. Sigh, the outside world is full of exciting things, but you're like a frog sitting in a well, enjoying the golden cage that others have made for you. What a pitiful person. Yun Chuzhou saw Furry's stunned expression. She continued, Furry, I'm a soft-hearted person. I'll say whatever comes to my mind. Don't take it to heart. Actually, you're doing pretty well now. A country bumpkin waiting to die is also not bad. Just pretend that I didn't say anything. Furry felt that its worldview had suffered a paradigm shift. Why did it feel that what Yunchujio said made sense? That's right, I'm no different from a watchdog. It had to change. The world was so big. It had to go out and take a look. Furry used its two short claws to hug Yunchujio's calf. Benefactor, what you said makes sense. Please help me. How can I get out of this situation? The rolling pin looked at Furry sympathetically. Unlucky fellow. You unlucky fellow. You're just repeating my mistake. My master doesn't have good intentions. You will definitely be cheated. Yunchujio looked at Furry and let out a long sigh. Sigh. My biggest weakness is that I'm too kind. Too soft-hearted. Although we have a grudge, you're so cute. I really can't bear to let you suffer like this, let me think of a way. Furry was so touched that she cried, Benefactor. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I deeply regret my previous actions. As long as you help me, I'll definitely make it up to you. Chapter 311, Master, please accept me. Yunchujio was overjoyed when she heard the word compensation. However, she put on a troubled expression and said, Furry, your situation is really special. If you want me to help you, you have to answer my next question truthfully. Furry quickly said, ask ahead, Savior. I'll tell you everything I know. How old are you this year? Yunchujio began to gather information silently. Furry counted for a long time. I can't really remember. Maybe 10,000 years old. Yunchujio nodded and thought to herself, 10,000 years old and still so stupid. How odd. How long has this mystical realm existed? I don't know. It should be at least hundreds of thousands of years old. Furry had failed to answer 2 questions in a row. It could not help but feel ashamed and its black fur slowly turned pink. Why are the 4 great sects holding the mirror fragments? The disciples in the spirit enhancement stage can enter after they cast the seal. Yunchujio was very curious about this. She really could not figure out the reason. Could it be that the mirror fragment was the key? They are holding the void mirror fragments. This mystical realm was originally a space within the void mirror. However, 8 fragments of the void mirror were lost. The fragments taken by the 4 great sects came from the same origin as this mystical realm. That was why the mystical realm accepted them. However, they only have the small fragments. They can only allow disciples in the spirit enhancement stage to enter. Finally, a question it could answer. Furry immediately told her everything it knew. At Furry's pleased look, Yunchujio could not bear to look straight into its eyes. Stupid. Too stupid. You've revealed your true nature. As a black-hearted master, I'm not going to ask for some simple compensation. I will abduct this mystical realm and you. Yunchujio's expression did not change. In her heart, the sun was shining brightly and 100 flowers were blooming. I only wanted to scam some spiritual herbs off it. I did not expect this mystical realm to be part of the void mirror. Oh heavens and earth, no matter what, I will take this mystical realm and the furball today. Yunchujio suppressed her excitement and frowned as she said, I see. This is a difficult situation. You said you're a realm spirit, but in fact, you're a weapon spirit, just like Little Flame in my rolling pin. Little Flame can leave the rolling pin for a short distance, but not too far. If I bring you out to play, you won't be able to go far. Little Flame immediately understood what Yunchujio meant and flew out from the rolling pin. Furry, although I can't be too far away from my main body, I can follow Master on the journey. Moreover, I not only get to play, she also feeds me a lot of delicious food. Grilled meat, spirit fruits, little flames narration made Furry salivate. Damn it, Yun Chujio was right. The heavens was trying to trick me. After so many years, I've never tasted anything other than spirit fruits. No matter what, I'll leave this damned place today. My savior. I want to be like little flame. Take me with you. Furry stretched out its claws and hugged Yun Chujio's calf, unwilling to let go. This, Yun Chujio had a troubled expression. That's not right. It'll only work if you let the mystical realm form a contract with me. If that's the case, I'll be your master. Wouldn't you rather be free? I'm willing. Master. You're my dear master. I beg you, master, please accept me. Furry looked like it would cry if she did not accept it. All right. I'm just too soft-hearted. Although you're kinda useless and this broken mystical realm isn't much, I'll take you in since you're adorable. Yun Chujio looked very reluctant. The rolling pin trembled a few times. Master, is it really good for you to be so bad-hearted? I finally understand what Stockholm Syndrome is. Helping you trap Furry is an example. How can this spirit be so stupid? No, I was also trapped in a similar fashion. It's not us who are stupid but my master who is too treacherous. It is simply impossible to win against her. Chapter 312, The Great Void Mirror. Yun Chujio frowned and thought for a while before saying, Furry, you have to think carefully. This is your choice. There's no medicine for regret in this world. Furry jumped around happily a few times, no regrets. Master. You're my master. Yun Chujio rejoiced in her heart. Ha! As long as I take this mystical realm, I will be the landlord. All the spiritual herbs and demonic beasts in this mystical realm will be mine. Ha ha ha, I'm going to be rich. Yun Chujio finally managed to hold back the corner of her mouth. Furry, how do you want to put this on a contract? Master, you can't form a contract with me. You have to do it with the main body of the Great Void Mirror. Follow me. Although it looked silly and cute, it was still very powerful in the mystical realm. With a wave of Hairy Ball's claws, Yun Chujio realized that the scene in front of her had changed. In front of her was a huge mirror. An ancient and desolate aura covered the entire space. The mirror was shrouded in clouds and mist, and nothing could be seen. It was decorated with ancient and complicated patterns, but if one looked closely, they would find that these patterns were exactly the same as the patterns on the pillars at the entrance of the mystical realm. However, there were 8 holes on the mirror, which affected the overall beauty of the mirror. Master, drop your blood into the heart of the lotus flower. Furry pointed at a pattern on the side of the mirror and said. Yun Chujio nodded, bit her index finger and dropped the blood into the heart of the lotus flower. No one expected that the sudden change of events would produce a strong suction from the mirror which firmly sucked Yun Chujio's finger into the heart of the lotus flower. It kept sucking Yun Chujio's blood. Fuck. Furry, you tricked me. Furry was about to cry. Master. It's really not me. Maybe your blood is too fragrant. Yun Chujio was so angry that she kept sucking. This guy gritted his teeth. If this went on, she would definitely be sucked dry like a mummy. Forget it. At worst, she would just give up this finger. Yun Chujio took out a big kitchen knife and was about to cut off her finger. At that moment, the strange grass in her dantian showed its power. A drop of cool liquid flowed out from Yun Chujio's index finger. The Great Void Mirror seemed to be very afraid of this liquid, and it suddenly released Yun Chujio's finger. Yun Chujio fell to the ground. You bastard. You actually want to suck my blood. You broken mirror. I'll smash you. I'll let you break into 1,000 pieces. Yun Chujio raised the rolling pin and was about to break the mirror. The mirror suddenly flashed with a white light, and its size suddenly shrunk. It floated in midair, and then quickly hid between Yin Chujia's brows. Get out here. You actually dare to enter my body. I won't let you off. She was about to explode from anger. Yun Chujio used her spiritual sense to look inside and was dumbfounded. She saw that the small and exquisite mirror had already settled down in her dantian. Alright, other than the small purple lightning bolts, one side of her dantian was occupied by the strange grass while the other side was occupied by the great void mirror. You've all F***king taken over my property. Did any of you even get permission for the owner? Due to her shock, Yun Chujio did not notice that Furry had a moment of dullness. Yes, the dullness that could only be described as being unloved. However, it quickly shouted, Master, the contract has been formed. This mystic realm is about to disappear. I'll send you out now. Yun Chujio had not even processed those words when she felt a wave of dizziness. Outside the mystic realm, Heavenly Gate sect and Spirit Radiance sect were counting the results of their disciples. Although Elder Zhang of Heavenly Gate sect was sad about the death of his grandson, he could only accept reality. Hence, he began to vent his anger on Spirit Radiance sect. If it weren't for them, sect leader Dugu wouldn't have sent us to the trial. If it weren't for the trial, my grandson wouldn't have died, so it was all the fault of Spirit Radiance sect. Elder Shao, the disciples of your Spirit Radiance sect indeed aren't that good. Not only are their spiritual power levels low, their actual combat abilities are even worse. Your points are 2 million less than Heavenly Gate sect's points. Last time, you relied on that Yun Chujia's unrated method to win. This time, you'll definitely lose. Elder Zhang said disdainfully. Chapter 313, Yun Chujio came out. Elder Shao was a straightforward person. When he heard Elder Zhang's words, he felt a little embarrassed. He actually had 2 million points less than the other party. It was really too embarrassing. There was an outstanding person from the Heavenly Gate sect, Su Yenran. The new disciples from the Spirit Radiance sect really could not compare to her. Su Yenran alone had obtained nearly 1 million points. Elder Chu was much more thick-skinned. He laughed out loud, Elder Zhang, this trial isn't over yet, right? Perhaps there will be more disciples from Spirit Radiance sect coming out. Elder Zhang laughed coldly. Elder Chu, are you dreaming? It was impossible for anyone to come out alive. Even if there were disciples coming out, would they be able to obtain 2 million points? No matter how powerful he is, would he be able to surpass Su Yenran? Su Yenran obtained 970,000 points. I won't argue with you verbally. Let us wait and see. Elder Chu rubbed his nose. Humph, what do you know? We still have a little weirdo who hasn't come out yet. As soon as that consecutive little Geo Thunderbolts is released, the low-level demon beasts would immediately choke on their farts. Good. It hasn't even been a month yet anyway. I'd like to see which other remarkable disciples from your Spirit Radiance sect will come out alive. Elder Zhang curled his lips. The sect was at its wit's end now, and they actually used such a clumsy excuse to cover it up. As soon as Elder Zhang finished speaking, the ancient mystic realm began to tremble violently. A huge wave of air knocked over the nearby disciples, and everyone immediately fell into chaos. What's going on? An earthquake? Could it be that the mystic realm is about to collapse? That's too scary. No wonder the mystic realm was so suffocating earlier. Could it be that this mystic realm is about to self-destruct? Heavens! We should hurry and get further away. This is an ancient mystic realm. If it really is about to self-destruct, it will definitely blow us up till there isn't even any residue left. The two pieces of the great void mirror that were suspended in mid-air began to tremble violently. Elder Zhang rolled his eyes and retrieved the piece from the Heavenly Gate sect to prevent it from being damaged. Elder Xiao and Elder Chu looked at each other. The two of them did not move. Yun Chujiu was still in the mystic realm. If they kept the pieces of the Great Void Mirror, Yun Chujiu would not be able to come out. When Elder Zhang saw this, he could not help but mock and ridicule. What? Are you guys still harboring fantasies? There must be something wrong with the mystic realm. It might even collapse. Not to mention the disciples of Spirit Radiance sect, even the demonic beasts inside will all die. Impossible. Little Jiu will not die. Little Jiu will definitely come out. When Yun Chu and the others heard Elder Zhang's words, they did not care about their status and roared. Elder Zhang gave them a sinister look and then released his pressure on Yun Chu and the others. How could Yun Chu and the others' cultivation base withstand Elder Zhang's pressure? Their legs went weak and they almost knelt on the ground. Elder Chu raised his hand and neutralized Elder Zhang's pressure. He said unhappily, "What does this mean? They are just worried about their fellow disciples. Have provoked you?" Elder Zhang said coldly, "They're just servants of your sect, and they were being disrespectful to me. I only gave them a small warning. Besides, that Yun Chujiu is dead for sure. She's just a trash who plays tricks." Before Elder Zhang finished his words, an item popped out from the ancient mystery dimension. With a loud crash, it fell to the ground. Hiss. I've fallen to my death. TSK, everyone is here. Everything is fine, right? Everyone took a closer look and saw that it was a little girl who fell out. Her eyebrows were sharp and her two little tails behind her head were trembling. Who else could it be other than the treacherous Yun Chujiu? Chapter 314, was only 2 million short, Little Jiu. You're still alive? Sob sob, that's great. Yun Chu immediately hugged Yun Chujiu in her arms. Yun Chujiu was secretly cursing in her heart. Sigh, fifth sister's breasts have become even fuller. When will I be able to have boobs as well? How upsetting. Yun Chuki and Qing Si kept wiping their tears. Yun Chuzi and the others' eyes were also red. Although they had always believed that Yun Chujiu would be fine, as time passed, the worry in their hearts gradually increased. They were almost on the verge of collapse. Little Jiu was still alive. It was great. At that moment, a loud sound came from the ancient mystery dimension. Then, space began to distort. What appeared in front of everyone was like ripples of water. In the end, it completely disappeared. The fragment of the Great Void Mirror that was floating in mid-air fell to the ground with a thud. Before anyone could react, a small figure jumped over and picked up the fragment and put it into her storage ring. Yun Chujiu. What are you doing? Elder Xiao shouted darkly. Yun Chujiu bared her little white teeth. Elder Xiao. Why are you so serious? I saw that all of you are busy, so I will help you keep it for the time being. Two's it that big a deal? It's not like I can escape with it. Hurry up and say something serious. Can we go back to the sect now? I miss our dear and respectable sect master. Elder Xiao recalled Yun Chujiu's previous misdeeds, and for some reason, he had an ominous premonition that the fragment of the Great Void Mirror might not be coming back. However, Wuder Chu's main focus was totally different. Yun Chujiu, quickly take out the spirit herbs and demon cores you collected. We're now 2 million points lower than the Heavenly Gate sect. Spirit Radiance sect depends on you. Hearing Elder Chu's words, Elder Zhang laughed sinisterly. Elder Chu, do you really see this little girl as a savior? How many points can a mere servant at the 4th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm obtain? I'm afraid even 1,000 would be difficult, let alone 2 million. The people from the Heavenly Gate sect also began to discuss in disdain. Spirit Radiance sect is going to lose this time for sure. How could that Yun Chujiu possibly have 2 million points of spoils of war? That is simply a dream. That's right. I reckon that Elder Chu thought that there wouldn't be any living people coming out of the mystic realm, so he found such an excuse. I didn't expect that Yun Chujio would actually come out. If she can't catch up to our Heavenly Gate sect this time, that would really be a slap in the face. That makes sense. Junior Sister Su is so amazing and peerless, yet she only obtained less than 1,000,000 points. That trash Yun Chujio can obtain 2,000,000 points. Maybe if the sun rises from the north. Su Yenran heard everyone's discussion, and the corners of her mouth curled up slightly. Yun Chujio, so what if you have many evil schemes? Not only did Spirit Radiance sect lose to our sect, you will also never be able to catch up to me. The people from Spirit Radiance sect also felt that their hopes were slim. 2,000,000 points. They had to kill 2,000 Tier 4 demonic beasts before they could do it. This was simply impossible. Yun Chujio did not move or say anything until the crowd's discussion gradually quieted down. Only then did she ask with a smile, Elder Chu, how many points are we lacking compared to the Heavenly Gate sect? Only 2,000,000. The crowd was so angry that they almost lost it. What do you mean by only 2,000,000? From your tone, 2,000,000 seems to be a very small number. Elder Zhang looked at Yun Chujio with disdain. Little girl, it's 2,000,000, not 200. What an idiot who overestimates herself. Yun Chujio looked at him. Elder Zhang, right? If you talk like that, you'll lose friends. How can you tell that I'm an idiot? Isn't it just 2,000,000? What's so great about it? Watch carefully. It'll blind your snobbish eyes. Chapter 315, 10,000,000. Everyone's gaze was focused on Yun Chujio. Even though the people of Spirit Radiance sect felt that the chances were slim, thinking of Yun Chujio's evil schemes, they thought that she might really have cheated a lot of good things off the land. Yun Chujio stretched out her small claws, and when everyone got a closer look, they almost lost it from anger. The thing they saw on Yun Chujio's palm was a freaking meat bun. Yun Chujio laughed dryly. I'm sorry. I took the wrong one. Yun Chujio stuffed the bun into her mouth and took a bite. I haven't eaten for a long time, so I'm a little hungry. Don't mind me. Everyone was dumbfounded. Yun Chujio, are you shameless? There are thousands of us waiting, and you want us to watch you eat the bun? Yun Chujio finally finished eating the bun. She stretched out her small claws and a small water bottle appeared. She gulped down a few mouthfuls. Yun Chujio. You don't have to feign mystery anymore. It's useless for you to delay this any longer. Elder Zhang thought that Yun Chujio definitely would not be able to produce much spoils of war and that she was just stalling for time. That's right. Yun Chujio, stop resisting so stubbornly. Your sect is going to lose for sure. TSK, bragging should be taxed. This Yun Chujio is definitely bragging. She's really shameless. That's right. If she can really take out something worth 2,000,000 points, it'll crawl back to Heavenly Gate sect. The people of Spirit Radiance sect were also at a loss. Junior Sister Little Jiu, can you do it or not? You usually have an array of tricks up your sleeve that never fails. This time, please don't let us down. Yun Chujio put away the bottle and said with a smile, sigh. I'm doing this for your own good. I'm afraid that if I take it out, you'll be scared. So I gave you some time to relax. Since you're in such a hurry, then brace yourself. Yun Chujio stretched out her small claws and a bright red demonic beast inner core could be seen in her palm. Even though it was only a demonic beast inner core, the demonic beast pressure emitted from it was enough to make people tremble in fear. Everyone was silent at first. Then, a disciple of Heavenly Gate sect said disdainfully, this demonic beast's inner core looks pretty good, but it's at most the inner core of a Tier 4 demonic beast. That's only 1,000 points. That's right. It's only the inner core of a Tier 4 demonic beast. Why are you afraid of scaring us? Pfft. You're really shameless. Shut up. You're a disgrace. Elder Zhang roared angrily. The people of Heavenly Gate sect did not dare to say anything. What? Was that demon core very impressive? Ha ha ha. Elder Zhang, how is it? I've warned you, right? This is the inner core of a Tier 8 demon beast, the single-horned demon lizard. Let me do some calculations for you. How many points is it worth? Tier 4 is 1,000, Tier 5 is 10,000, Tier 6 is 100,000, Tier 7 is 1,000,000, and Tier 8 is 10 million. Ha ha ha. 10 million. Your Heavenly Gate sect now has 8 million points less than us. Ah, Elder Zhang, your Heavenly Gate sect's new disciples' combat ability isn't really that great. The total points that your new disciples got isn't even as much as what our little Jiao got alone. TSK, Elder Chu did not know what it meant to quit while the going was good, and he returned the frustration he had suffered previously to Elder Zhang. Everyone's faces were filled with shock. Tier 8 demonic beast. Yun Chujiao got 10 million points alone. Oh my god. Would Tier 8 not be equivalent to the 9th level of the Spirit Cultivator realm? How did Yun Chujiao do it? Could it be that she could kill a Tier 8 demonic beast just by recklessly throwing out tricks? Was that not heaven-defying? Chapter 316, Are you giving me some compensation? The people of Spirit Radiance sect were instantly elated. Their originally drooping heads had also become full of spirit. Humph. You think you're great just because you have Su Yanran? We have little 9th junior sister. That's right. What's the use of having a higher level? Although our little 9th junior sister's level is low, she's smart. She obtained 10 million points alone. The 8 of you and Su Yanran aren't even that good. No wonder Su Yanran lost to our little 9th junior sister repeatedly. It's because her brain isn't working well anymore. Ha ha ha. Su Yanran almost fainted from anger. She felt that not only the people of Spirit Radiance sect looked at her with disdain and ridicule. Even those from Heavenly Gate sect did. Su Yanran gritted her teeth and shouted angrily, humph. The highest level in the mystic realm is only a Tier 4 demonic beast. How could there be a Tier 8 demonic beast? This inner core might have been prepared by Yun Chujiao beforehand. Yun Chujiao was immediately unhappy and pointed at Su Yanran. Hey, why are you so narrow-minded? If no one has ever seen it, does that mean it doesn't exist? No one has seen the heavens, do you think that that doesn't exist? You're just jealous of talent. How shameless. Su Yanran was so angry that her face turned red. Yun Chujiao, don't change the topic. How can you prove that you obtained this demonic beast inner core from the mystical realm? She felt that this demonic beast inner core could not have been obtained by Yun Chujiao. How could a trash at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm kill a Tier 8 demonic beast? Everyone immediately burst into an uproar. Su Yanran's words were not without reason. For thousands of years, there had never been a trial disciple who had encountered a Tier 4 demonic beast or above in the mystic realm. This Yun Chujiao taking out a Tier 8 demonic beast inner core all of a sudden really did not make sense. Elder Chu laughed out loud. How difficult is that? All the spoils of war in the ancient mystic realm can be verified with the Great Void Mirror Fragment. If there is no way to verify, wouldn't our trial be left to our disciple to cheat? Little Jiao, take out the Void Mirror Fragment and examine it. Yun Chujiao rolled her eyes. Su Yanran, you wronged me for no reason. If I prove my innocence later, don't you have to give me some compensation? Su Yanran snorted coldly. Then what if T showed that you're the one who's faking it? If I'm the one who's faking it, then I'll give you this tier 8 demonic beast's inner core. If you're faking it, you can either give me the fragment of your void mirror, or lose 2 million low-grade spirit stones to me. Yun Chujio smiled like a little fox. The inner core of a tier 8 demonic beast in the world cost at least 2 million low-grade spirit stones, so no one felt anything unusual about Yun Chujio's condition. Su Yanran frowned. She could not make the decision about the void mirror fragment, and she did not have that many spirit stones. What should she do now? Elder Zhang said from the side, "All right, it's a deal. However, the great void mirror garment cannot be used as a bet. Let's bet 2 million low-grade spirit stones." Yun Chujio sighed in her heart. She knew that it would not be so easy to trick her. However, it was not a bad idea to get some spirit stones and herbs. When I'm rich, I don't have to look at that gigolo's face anymore. Yun Chujio straightened her body and put her hands behind her back. Elder Zhang, please take a look. Otherwise, you'll think that we're cheating. Although she said it nicely, she was actually afraid that Elder Xiao would take the broken pieces of the grand illusionary mirror back. Elder Zhang took out the voir mirror fragment and produced a seal. After that, the image of a mirror appeared on the top of the demon core. Ha! It's true. That's what I said. How could our little Jiu cheat? Your Heavenly Gate sect is really generous. You actually rushed over to give our little ninth girl spirit stones. Elder Chu did not know how to show off now. Chapter 317, Extremely Angry. Elder Zhang was so angry that his face twisted. However, Yun Chujio was hiding behind Elder Chu. She stretched out her claws and said, "Hurry up and transfer the 2 million spirit stones to me. My little heart has been hurt too badly by you. I must use the spirit stones to soothe it." The people of the Heavenly Gate sect wished they could capture Yun Chujio and give her a good beating. She was too infuriating. Did she just take advantage of us and still pretends to be good? How did we hurt your little heart? It was you who hurt our little heart, okay? Originally, we were 2 million points ahead of your sect. 2 million. We thought that our Heavenly Gate sect would definitely win this time. It was you, this scourge, who woke us up from our sweet dream. The most profligate thing you did was that the moment your upper and lower lips touched, you somehow extorted 2 million spirit stones from us. Su Yanran never expected that the inner core of a tier 8 demonic beast was really obtained by Yun Chujio in the mystic realm. She was both embarrassed and angry. Coupled with Elder Zhang's angry gaze, she wished that she could find a hole to hide in. Su Yanran, thank you. You're really my lucky star. Last time, I obtained a scarlet dawn silk because of you. This time, I obtained another 2 million spirit stones. If others didn't know better, they would definitely think that you're my long-lost biological sister. Yun Chujio took the spirit stones, then smiled and winked at Su Yanran. You. Su Yanran rolled her eyes and fainted from anger. Yun Chujio shrugged her shoulders and spread her hands. I was just talking. Why is she so agitated? Could it be that she really wants to be my sister? Smelly girl. You're courting death. Elder Zhang could not hold it in any longer. If he did not slap this Yun Chujio to death that day, Heavenly Gate sect's honor would be completely disgraced. Yun Chujio saw Elder Zhang fly into a rage. With a whoosh, she once again hid behind Elder Chu. The Heavenly Gate sect can't afford to lose. Heavenly Gate sect is acting like a scoundrel. It's only right for them to admit defeat. You guys actually became angry out of humiliation. What a shameless move. In order to be safe, Yun Chujio simply hid behind the elders of Spirit Radiance sect and stuck out her little head, constantly provoking them. Elder Zhang's face was livid with anger. However, his attacks were all neutralized by Elder Chu, and he could not get close to Yun Chuzhou at all. Seeing that it was really inappropriate to continue causing trouble like this, Elder Zhang of Heavenly Gates sect walked forward to dissuade Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang, there's still time in the future. Since the mystic realm has already disappeared, let's return to the sect. Elder Zhang knew that he would not be able to do much that day, so he could only follow Elder Zhang's words and walk down the stairs. Before he left, he shot a sinister glance at Yun Chuzhou, who was poking her head out. "Darn girl, I won't let you off." Just as Elder Zhang was about to turn around and leave, Yun Chuzhou shouted, "Hey! You owe 1 million spirit stones to our sect. Are you trying to cheat us? Hurry up and pay up before you leave." Elder Chu slapped his thigh. "That's right. I almost let you guys get away with it. Fortunately, little Jiu is here. Hurry up and give me 1 million spirit stones. Our sect has won gracefully this time. 8 million points more than you guys. Ha ha ha." Elder Zhang almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He threw 1 million spirit stones and left with the people of the Heavenly Gates sect in a huff. When the people of Heavenly Gates sect came, they were full of confidence. They did not expect such a tragic ending. All of this was caused by that Yun Chuzhou. "Yun Chuzhou, you are the public enemy of our Heavenly Gates sect." Yun Chuzhou did not have the slightest awareness that she was their public enemy. Seeing that there was no more danger, she waved her claws at the back of the members of the Heavenly Gates sect. "You guys should come to Spirit Radiance sect often to play with me. My 2 million spirit stones will be spent very soon. Remember to come and give me money often." Chapter 318, They Want More. Little ancestors. The people of the Heavenly Gates sect staggered when they heard Yun Chuzhou's words. It was too infuriating. "Yun Chuzhou, our Heavenly Gates sect is not done with you." Yun Chuzhou sighed at the people of Spirit Radiance sect. Sigh. "Everyone, I've been worried to death for our sect. The Heavenly Gates sect must hate me to the bone this time. In doing this for our sect. If they gang up on me, you must help me." Everyone did not know what to say. "You'd sound more sincere if you distributed the 2 million spirit stones you pocketed to everyone." However, after this incident, Yun Chuzhou's image among these new disciples had completely changed. In the Azure Mystic Continent, the strong were respected. No matter how Yun Chuzhou obtained that Tier 8 demonic beast inner core, it was she who won back Spirit Radiance sect's honor. Therefore, Yun Chuzhou was the hero of Spirit Radiance sect. Yun Chuzhou played with the treasures for a while, then she giggled at the elders and said implicitly, "Elders, this time, I'm number 1. You know it." The elders were stunned at first, then came to from the surprise counterattack just now. Heavens, they almost forgot about that. Not only did Yun Chuzhou enter the top 10, but she also clinched the well-deserved first place. Did that not mean that they had to acknowledge her identity as Little Ancestor Yun? They were going to have another Little Ancestor. All the elders' faces immediately twitched. Even if they had thousands of reasons, it was still very sullen to let this young girl be their elder, okay? Therefore, on the way back to the sect, all the elders were unhappy and full of worries. The disciples of Spirit Radiance sect were originally laughing happily, but when they saw the elders, they did not dare to laugh loudly anymore. They were very puzzled. They had clearly won, so why were all the elders suddenly unhappy? It was really strange. After the airship arrived at the Spirit Radiance sect, these elders flew straight to the meeting hall as if they were being chased by wolves. Master Xianyuan had already received the news and led the elders to wait in the meeting hall. "Elder Xiao, Elder Chu, why are you back in less than a month? Did something happen?" Master Xianyuan could not help but ask worriedly when he saw the gloomy expressions on the elders' faces. Elder Chu sighed. "Something did happen. I don't know if the ancient mystic realm self-destructed or why it disappeared. What? How is this possible? The ancient mystery dimension has existed for tens of thousands of years. How could it disappear for no reason? Master Xianyuan and the others were shocked. Elder Chu curled his lips. Who knows? It just disappeared. That Heavenly Gates sect actually brought their new disciples to participate in the trial at the same time and even made a bet with us. Those who had less points will be considered to have lost. Master Xianyuan and everyone immediately understood. It seemed that Spirit Radiance sect's points were low, which was why Elder Chu and the others were so depressed. Master Xianyuan consoled. Victory and defeat are common occurrences in war. You don't have to mind it so much. So be it if you lose. Elder Chu's face was full of confusion. Lose? Who said our sect lost? We won. We even surpassed Heavenly Gates sect by 8 million points. This time, it was Master Xianyuan and the others who were dumbfounded. 8 million points. What kind of joke was this? How was this possible? Elder Chu, could it be that you're joking? 8 million points. How is this possible? Master Xuanyuan's face darkened slightly. This Elder Chu was really too ridiculous. He's almost on par with that little girl, Yun Chujio. Elder Chu was also anxious. Who's joking? Yun Chujio obtained a Tier 8 single-horn demon lizard's inner core in the mystic realm. She instantly obtained 10 million points. Master Xianyuan and the others were instantly petrified. Yun Chujio, who was on the 4th level of spirit enhancement. She killed a Tier 8 demonic beast. Is it because we're inexperienced, or is this little girl too heaven-defying? This is too unbelievable. Chapter 319, just too soft-hearted Elder Chu saw the stupefied expressions on Master Xianyuan and the others' faces and instantly felt a lot more at ease. Speaking of which, they were also shocked back then. Sect Master, the crux of the matter now isn't that we won against the Heavenly Gates sect, but that Yun Chujio is worthy of first place. Back then, you promised her that if she were to rank within the top 10, you would acknowledge her as Little Ancestor Yun. Elder Chu saw that Master Xianyuan and the others had yet to react, so he quickly reminded them. Only then did everyone understand why Elder Chu and the others were still unhappy even after winning. That was right. Yun Chujio, that little girl, unexpectedly got first place, so they had to acknowledge her as Little Ancestor Yun. That was really depressing. That little girl was already smug to begin with. If she also had the Little Ancestor Yun identity, Spirit Radiance sect would be turned upside down by her. Master Xianyuan did not have much of a reaction. He said indifferently, since we've already discussed this, then we can only acknowledge Yun Chujio's identity as Little Ancestor Yun. Get Yun Chujio over here. Although the others were unwilling, they had nothing to say. Everyone thought to themselves, it would be great if Yun Chujio would voluntarily give up the identity of Little Ancestor Yun. However, that was pretty much impossible. That little girl was so capable of showing off. Why would she even let go of such an opportunity? After a short while, Yun Chujio came skipping over. She was so proud of herself that she even walked with her hands behind her back. Everyone's here. Not bad, not bad. You are indeed worthy of being taught. Yun Chujio nodded slightly at the crowd. Her demeanor was really great. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. What did she say? It had not even been officially announced yet, and this girl was already starting to act like Little Ancestor Yun. Master Xianyuan had a high level of self-restraint. He smiled faintly and said, Yun Chujio, you've obtained first place in this new disciple trial. According to our agreement, from today onwards, you'll be Spirit Radiance sect's Little Ancestor Yun. The 10th generation of the Spirit Radiance sect Master, Master Xianyuan, pays his respects to little ancestor Yun. Master Xianyuan bowed respectfully to Yun Chuzhou. When the others saw that things had come to this, they could only bow respectfully to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou's mouth was opened so wide that it almost reached her cheeks. She lowered her hand slightly and said, "Children, get up." Everyone almost spat out a mouthful of blood. When they thought of how much that scene would happen in the future, they instantly felt that they had nothing left to live for. Yun Chuzhou was amused to see their twitching expressions. Everyone was so angry that they were twitching. Her happiness was entirely based on their pain. It was too infuriating. Master Xianyuan looked calm and asked respectfully, "Little ancestor Yun, which mountain do you want to live on in the future? After you choose, I can help you set up a new courtyard." Yun Chuzhou tried hard to hold back her laughter and blinked her eyes. Then, she said, "Little Xianyuan, I appreciate your kindness. However, after careful consideration, inconveniences will befall you kids if my identity is announced. Therefore, I've decided not to announce this news to the public for the time being." What? Could it be that there was something wrong with his ears? This little weirdo had actually become so understanding. Everyone looked at Yun Chuzhou in shock. They really could not believe what she just said. Master Xianyuan was also stunned. "Yun Chuzhou, what do you mean?" Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, "As long as you acknowledge my identity, there's no need to announce it to the public. Other than you probably being requested by me often, you can just treat me as an ordinary disciple. How is it? Does this little ancestor have the demeanor of an elder? In doing this for your sake. My greatest strength is that I'm too soft-hearted." When everyone heard Yun Chuzhou's words, they were both surprised and delighted. This was simply too good. When they thought of bowing to this little girl in front of their disciples, it was simply too awkward. Little ancestor Yun is truly magnanimous. She is indeed worthy of being Patriarch Linghua's true disciple. That's right, little ancestor Yun has a heavenly thunder root spirit. She's naturally different from ordinary people. That's right. Little ancestor Yun's decision is really too wise. Master Xianyuan felt that with Yun Chuzhou's personality, she definitely would not be so simple. Could this little girl be up to no good again? Chapter 320, Making Up for an Injured Old Heart. Yun Chuzhou smiled at the crowd and nodded. "You flatter me. You flatter me. As an elder, I naturally have the demeanor of an elder. Little Xianyuan, what do you think about following my instructions?" Although Master Xianyuan was still uncertain, he still smiled and said, "I'll follow little ancestor Yun's arrangements. I wonder what identity little ancestor Yun wishes to obtain temporarily." Yun Chuzhou giggled and said, "I've already obtained first place, so I should at least be a successor disciple. Isn't that old man Sun Buzhong in seclusion cultivation? Just put me under him." "Alright, let's do as you say." Master Xianyuan thought to himself, "It seems that the little girl has already planned it out. What exactly is she doing this for?" Yun Chuzhou coughed dryly. "Little Xianyuan, I've made such a big compromise. Let's consider that fragment of the Great Void Mirror as compensation for this little ancestor." Master Xianyuan was a little stunned. The fragment of the Void Mirror? Elder Shao said with a sullen face, "Master, the fragment of the Void Mirror has already been snatched away by Yun Chuzhou, little ancestor Yun." Yun Chuzhou's face fell. "Little boulder, I don't like what you're saying. What do you mean I snatched it away? I was just keeping it for you guys, alright? The situation was so chaotic back then. If it wasn't for my quick reflexes, it might have been snatched away by those from Heavenly Gates sect." Little boulder? Elder Shao felt that his entire person was in a bad mood. However, although he was stubborn, he abided by the rules of etiquette. Yun Chuzhou's identity was already set. Even if he was dissatisfied, He did not dare to have any objections and immediately fell silent. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched slightly. No matter how they looked at it, the name Little Boulder seemed strange when it was applied to Elder Shao's being. Since that's the case, you can keep that fragment of the Great Void Mirror. Master Xianyuan knew that Yun Chujio was not that kind-hearted. However, since the ancient dimension had been destroyed, the fragment of Void Mirror would not be of much use anymore. She can have it. Yun Chujio nodded her head in satisfaction. Then, she said with a bright smile, "It's settled then. In the future, when there are outsiders, I will be a true disciple of Spirit Radiance sect. Now, there aren't many elders like me who are thinking of the younger generation. Are you all very touched?" Everyone braced themselves and nodded their heads. No matter what, Yun Chujio's actions saved them a lot of embarrassment. Seeing this, Yun Chujio continued with a smile, "You guys are so sensible. I'm really happy. Children, I'm celebrating my birthday. Shouldn't you give me birthday gifts?" Everyone was stunned. Celebrating her birthday. Today was Yun Chujio's birthday. Master Xianyuan took out the information of his new disciple from his storage ring and flipped through it. "Little ancestor Yun, that's not right. Isn't your birthday already over?" Yun Chujio cursed silently. That old fox actually brought that information with him. It should have been easy for me to scam them of a few things. If an ordinary person were to be exposed, it would definitely be very awkward. However, Yun Chujio did not have the awareness and just coughed dryly. Cough cough. My 15th birthday is over. Shouldn't you all feel guilty for your negligence? Hurry up and make up for the birthday present to make up for my injured heart. Oh right, if you want to make up for the previous 14 years of birthday present, I won't stop you. Everyone was absolutely speechless. They knew it. This fellow was not that kind-hearted. She even said that she was thinking of them. She was just trying to scam them. After struggling for a while, they still chose honor over money. Each and every one of them began to painfully take out the so-called birthday present. Yun Chujio didn't know what it meant to be reserved at all. When she saw that she was dissatisfied, she immediately returned the goods. Low-grade spirit tool. You're disrespecting your elders. Little Xianyuan, what does the 8th rule of Spirit Radiance sect say? Isn't there a punishment for disrespecting your elders? That bitter elder did not wait for Master Xianyuan to reply. He hurriedly took out a middle-grade spirit tool and handed it to Yun Chujio. Little ancestor Yun, I took the wrong one just now. Yun Chujio nodded. You're so young, but you don't have good eyesight. Be careful in the future. Yun Chujio was beaming with joy as she accepted the gifts. She was thinking that it would be great if she could have 8 or 10 birthdays that year. Chapter 321, Interrogating a Ball of Yarn. Yun Chujio was the best at giving people a sweet slap. Seeing everyone's pained expression, she said sincerely, "Everyone, do you think I'm a little greedy?" Everyone was silent. Is there a need to ask? You're not just a little greedy. You're very greedy. Actually, I have my own difficulties. I'm not a greedy person, but I'm too weak now. I need to have some means to save my life. If I'm captured by others, you will definitely save me as a sign of respect to your teacher, right? If they come up with any excessive conditions, you will be in a dilemma. Why don't you give me something good and let me be safe? Am I right? The grievances in everyone's hearts dissipated a little. What Yun Chujio said made some sense. She was only at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm, so she was indeed too weak. Moreover, I have the heavenly thunder root spirit. It'll definitely soar to the sky in the future. I'm not someone who doesn't repay kindness. In the future, I might be rich. When that time comes, you can choose any high-grade spirit tool or high-grade medicinal pill you want. If it's not good enough, he'll use lightning to help you strike whoever you dislike. Yun Chujia's face was full of sincerity. The sincerity in her eyes was so touching that it almost made people cry. The remaining dissatisfaction in everyone's hearts had also dispersed. Although Yun Chujio was not great, she was still pure-hearted. From the looks of it, they were a little stingy. Alas, they had lived for a few hundred years in vain. They were even worse than a 15-year-old child. How shameful. Master Xianyuan could not help but sigh. This Yun Chujia's control over people's hearts was really amazing. How did a 15-year-old little girl do this? It was truly heaven-defying. Seeing that everyone was satisfied, Yun Chujio smiled and said, "Little Xianyuan, since there's nothing else, I'll go back first. See you again in the future. I'm still that little disciple of Spirit Radiance sect. See you later." Master Xianyuan waved his hand, indicating that she could leave. Yun Chujio hopped out of the meeting hall and headed straight for the dormitory. "Master, why didn't you let them announce your identity?" the rolling pin asked in puzzlement. "A tree that stands out in the forest will be destroyed by the wind. I don't want to become a target for some people. Besides, what if they capture me and threaten Spirit Radiance sect? How great is it now that I made a huge profit and even obtained the fragment of the Great Void Mirror. Let's go back quickly and interrogate Furry." On the way back, Yun Chujio made a decision. After repeatedly weighing the pros and cons, she made the decision not to reveal her identity. Yun Chujio returned to her dormitory and simply tidied up. Then, she shouted angrily, "Furry, get out here." Furry flew out from between Yun Chujia's brows and rolled on the ground happily. "Ha ha ha. I finally get to see the outside world. This is great." Yun Chujio gritted her teeth. "Furry, why did you take me out of the realm? You caused my image to be seriously damaged. Were you purposely taking revenge on me?" Furry hurriedly explained, "Master, there's nothing I can do about it. The main body of the Great Void Mirror recognizes you as its master, so it naturally can no longer exist outside of your body." Yun Chujio thought for a moment and felt it made sense. It seemed like she had wronged Furry. "All right. Let's turn the page. Furry, hurry up and get me some high-grade spirit herbs. I need it." Yun Chujio thought to herself that she had been plucking sheep's wool in the spirit herb garden many times, and it was the perfect time to get some spirit herbs to return to Elder Chi. Furry's eyes flickered with guilt as it stammered, "Master, master. There's something I need to tell you." Chapter 322, The Outside World is So Cruel. Yun Chujio had an inexplicable foreboding. "Speak." "Well, dear master, there's 8 pieces of the Great Void Mirror, right? Hence, there are flaws to its functionality. For the time being, and I really mean for the time being, other than me, nothing else can be taken out of it." After the ball of yarn finished speaking, it retracted its 4 limbs into the ball of yarn, feeling guilty. Yun Chujio was stunned at first, and then she was instantly enraged. She thought that she had gotten a great bargain, and only after a long time did she found out that she had brought back such a useless thing. Yun Chujio sneered at the ball of yarn that had shrunk into a ball. "Ball of yarn, since you have no other use, then I'll just use you to play Kuju, 1. Yun Chujio kicked the ball of yarn away. The ball of yarn hit the wall and bounced back. Then it was kicked away again and bounced back. "Master! Master! I'm not finished. Stop. Let me finish." The ball of yarn hugged Yun Chujia's calf and begged pitifully. "Speak. Master, as long as you get the 8 fragments back and fix the void mirror, you'll be rich. The void mirror is a divine artifact. It's much stronger than the rolling pin." The rolling pin was immediately unhappy. "If you want to say something, just say it. Why hold back? I'll beat you to death, bitch. The miserable ball of yarn was instantly beaten into a blanket, tears streaming down its face. Sob sob. Baby yarn ball regrets this. The world outside is so cruel. Yun Chujio touched her chin. A divine artifact? It sounded pretty awesome. However, not to mention the other 4 fragments, just the fragments in the hands of the other 3 great sects were already very difficult to get, right? Yun Chujio held the Spirit Radiant Sex fragment in her hand and asked Ball of Yarn, I have one in my hand now. If I fix it, will it have any use? Furry got up from the ground and said fawningly, Master, if I fix this piece, I can get the yellow category, low-grade spirit herbs and first-grade demon beasts out of the mystic realm for you. And how do I operate it? Yun Chujio curled her lips. They were all worthless goods, but it was better than nothing. At least in the future, she did not have to go to the mountains to get roasted meat anymore. The Ball of Yarn taught Yun Chujio an obscure and difficult chant. After Yun Chujio recited it, the fragment of the void mirror in her hand floated up and hid between Yun Chujio's eyebrows. Yun Chujio looked inside and sure enough, one of the holes in the great void mirror had been repaired. Yun Chujio secretly stared at the 2 things in her dantian. These 2 things were not good ADN. She did not know whether it was a blessing or a curse. It was already lunchtime. The 3 foodies naturally had a big meal. Especially Furry, who had never eaten these delicacies before. It ate with all its might. After it finished eating, its entire body swelled up. Furry immediately forgot about the abuse she had suffered previously. Baby Yarn does not regret this. The outside world is really too fucking awesome. Little Sister Jill. Little Sister Jill. Big Brother is here to see you. Yun Chujio frowned. Why was the red-clothed pervert there? This black-headed chicken must have sent someone to monitor her. Otherwise, why would he come when she had just returned? Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. Since you took the initiative to come to my door, don't blame me for being ruthless. If I don't kill you, I would be wronging the 99,000 spirit stones that the gigolo had swindled you of. Yun Chujio giggled as she walked out of the room. Brother Wuji, I'm so happy to see you. I was wondering why the sky is blue, the grass is green, and the flowers are blooming today. Turns out, I have a distinguished guest. Chapter 323, Young Master, please wake up, little sister Jill, you really know how to talk. I haven't seen you in a while. Did you miss your big brother? Here, take these flowers. Shui Wuji took out a bunch of colorful wild flowers from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio casually took it and said, Big brother Wuji, this good-looking but useless thing is not as practical as 2 meat buns. Next time, don't do such a stupid thing. Shui Wuji was speechless. Secret Agent Huahua remembered that his young master had confidently said that Yun Chujio would be overjoyed when she saw the flowers. She would definitely be moved to tears. Young master, does your pride hurt? Shui Wuji looked at Yun Chujio casually throwing the bouquet of wild flowers that he had carefully arranged on the stone table. He was so angry that his heart was twitching. This stupid girl had no aesthetic sense at all. She actually abused his hard work. Brother Wuji, why do you look so pale? Are you hungry? Yun Chujio asked with a smile. I was in a hurry to see you. I haven't had lunch yet. Shui Wuji loosened his fists in his sleeve. This darn girl still cares about me. Yun Chujio's eyes lit up. Brother Wuji, what do you want to eat? I have everything here. Anything. Anything is fine. Shui Wuji felt even more touched. This stupid girl is so considerate toward me. Yun Chujio quickly took out a table of food from her storage ring. Seeing that the bouquet of wild flowers was in the way, she pushed it to the ground. The corner of Xue Wuji's eyes twitched violently. This little girl is really not romantic. However, at least she still has some feelings for me. Otherwise, she wouldn't have taken the initiative to prepare food for me. Xue Wuji was really a little hungry. He picked up his chopsticks and started eating. Little sister Jiu, your food is not bad. I'm about to fall in love with you. After Xue Wuji had eaten his fill, he leaned back slightly on the recliner. His long and narrow phoenix eyes were filled with charm as he looked at Yun Chuzhou with deep affection. When Yun Chuzhou heard Xue Wuji's words, she was stunned. Xue Wuji was pleased with himself. Humph, a little girl who had never seen the world was a piece of cake for this young master. As long as he used some tricks, she would be completely loyal to him. Di Biming, just you wait to be cuckolded. Brother Wuji, what did you say just now? I was just calculating the bill and didn't hear clearly. We're old acquaintances. How about this, I will give you a discount for this table of dishes. You only need to pay me 100,000 spirit stones. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Xue Wuji almost fell off his chair. What? Was she not mesmerized by him? Was she counting money? Secret Agent Hua Hua quietly stepped back. Young master, you better be careful. Why don't you learn your lesson? The little girl doesn't even like you. Wake up. Xue Wuji gritted his teeth. Little sister Jiu, I remember you said last time that you wouldn't charge me for my meals in the future. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. I didn't charge you for your food. I charged you for the vegetables. I didn't include the rice. Xue Wuji was speechless. Brother Wuji, are you trying to go back on your word? No wonder Prince Charming said that you're a cheapskate. Prince Charming is always very generous. Humph. Yun Chuzhou curled her lips with a look of disdain. Xue Wuji was like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He immediately became anxious. He's the cheapskate. Little sister Jiu, I was joking with you just now. It's just 100,000 spirit stone, isn't it? Take it. Chapter 324, I'll take it. Yun Chuzhou accepted the spirit stones, and her smile immediately brightened. Brother Wuji, you're really a generous tycoon. Are you thirsty? Let me make you a pot of tea, okay? Little sister Jiu, I'm not thirsty. Let's chat. Xue Wuji shook his head like a rattledrum. What a joke. This little girl was so ruthless. A pot of tea would probably cost him 10,000 spirit stones. Brother Wuji, I originally wanted to give you a pot of tea. Since that's the case, I'll drink it myself. Yun Chuzhou poured a cup of tea and sipped it. The dishes Xue Wuji ate were a little salty. Initially, he did not think much of it. Now that he heard the sound of Yun Chuzhou drinking water, he immediately felt thirsty. Little sister Jiu, I'm also a little thirsty. Yun Chuzhou smiled and poured a cup for Xue Wuji. Big brother Wuji, please have some tea. Xue Wuji's depression dissipated a little, and he drank the tea in one gulp. Yun Chuzhou helped fill another cup, and Xue Wuji drank it all. After drinking 3 cups in a row, Xue Wuji put down the teacup. Little sister Jiu, there's no need to pour. I don't want to drink anymore. Brother Wuji, 1 cup costs 10,000 spirit stones, and 3 cups costs 30,000 spirit stones. Pay up. What? Didn't you say you would give it to me as a gift? Yeah, didn't you want the pot of tea that I gave you as a gift? These 3 cups are for a fee. Brother Wuji, are you trying to renege on your promise? If you don't want to give it to me, then so be it. I can't beat you anyway. Sigh, Prince Charming never reneges on his promise. He always pays up without hesitation. Xue Wuji felt like his head was about to burst. This wretched girl was really crafty. He was so angry. Xue Wuji endured but did not make a move. He squeezed out a smile and said, "Little sister Jiu, you're really lively. Isn't it just 30,000 spirit stones? Take it. Brother Wuji is really a good person who keeps his word. Brother Wuji, do you want to have some spirit fruits? Are you going to charge me?" Xue Wuji gritted his teeth and asked. "Of course I do. Brother Wuji, it can't be that you can't afford it, right? Since you can't afford it, then forget it. I'll sell it to my Prince Charming." "I can't afford it." "Humph. Bring me as many as you have." Xue Wuji straightened his back. This young master is much richer than that expressionless man. Secret Agent Huahua rubbed his forehead. "Young master, where is your usual shrewdness? Why do you always look like a fool when you're with this little girl? She's obviously trying to trick you." Sure enough, Yun Chuzhou smiled and produced a basket of red fruits, each of which was only the size of a thumb. "Brother Wuji, there are a total of 580 coral fruits costing 100 spirit stones each, which comes to a total of 58,000 spirit stones. Pay up." Xue Wuji jumped up immediately. "1 spirit stone can buy a whole cart of these lousy coral fruits on the streets. You're selling them to me for 58,000? Are you trying to rob me?" Yun Chuzhou pouted her mouth aggrievedly. "Brother Wuji, the coral fruits you mentioned are from the demonic beast forest. I picked these from the ancient mystic dimension. The ancient mystic dimension has disappeared, so these coral fruits are precious. If it weren't for our good relationship, I wouldn't have sold them to you. It's fine if you don't buy them, but when the Prince Charming comes, I'll sell them to him. Maybe he'll give me 100,000 spirit stones for them." Xue Wuji snorted coldly, "No matter where you pick them, they're just coral fruits without any spiritual essence. I don't believe that Di Baiming would pay 100,000 spirit stones for this damn thing." As soon as Xue Wuji finished his words, a cold voice was heard. "Black thing, I'll pay 200,000 spirit stones for these fruits." Chapter 325, It's for your young master's consumption anyway. Along with his voice, Di Baiming, who had an austere aura, appeared. He glanced at the bouquet of wild flowers on the ground, then glanced at the food and spiritual fruits on the stone table, and glared fiercely at Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou inexplicably felt a little guilty, and then she straightened her small waist. HMPH, what was she guilty about? She did not do anything bad. Besides, why did the gigolo look like he caught her in bed? Who was he to do that? Xue Wuji was shocked. He did not notice Di Baiming at all when he was nearby. This meant that Di Baiming's emotionless skills had increased again. "Black thing, I want these coral fruit. I'll transfer 200 spirit stones to you later. Go and wash a plateful for me. I'll invite young Master Xue to taste it." After all, a frugal person like young Master Xue wouldn't be willing to buy such expensive fruits. Di Baiming sat on the stone bench and said indifferently. Yun Chuzhou smiled brightly and replied in a crisp voice, "All right. Prince Charming, you're the real nouveau riche. I'll go and wash the fruits now." Xue Wuji felt that the word real was very harsh on his ears and he sneered. "Wait. There must be a first come, first serve way to buy things, right? Little sister Jiu, this young master will also pay 200 spirit stones for the fruit." Secret Agent Huahua was about to cry. "Young master, the two of them are trying to trick you. Are you stupid? You're usually cunning. But why do you look like an idiot when you meet Di Baiming and Yun Chuzhou?" Yun Chuzhou seemed to be in a difficult position when she heard Xue Wuji's words. She said timidly, "This Prince Charming, it was indeed Brother Wuji who came first. I'm sorry, I can only sell the fruit to Brother Wuji. Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. He came first, but it only counts when you pay for the business. Come here. I'll transfer the spirit stones to you now. Shui Wuji immediately became anxious. Little sister Jiu, I'll transfer it to you now. Yun Chujio seemed to be in a difficult position. She stomped her feet and said, "My Prince Charming, I'm sorry. I should sell it to Brother Wuji. He came first." Shui Wuji was very proud. He could not wait to transfer the 200,000 spirit stones to Yun Chujio. Then he said, "Di Baiming, this fruit is mine. It's my treat. Little sister Jiu, go and wash the fruits for me." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. "Brother Wuji, I just remembered that this fruit is pure and uncontaminated. It doesn't need to be washed. If we wash it with water, it might lose its flavor. We can just eat it like this." Shui Wuji smacked his lips. Why did he feel like he had been tricked? Shui Wuji calmed down and gritted his teeth in anger. These two made a trap for him to fall into. He had actually fallen for the trap on a whim. Shui Wuji was both angry and annoyed. He had always been the one who cheated others. Why was he repeatedly deceived by this smelly little girl, Yun Chujio? It must be that he was too careless. Yes, it must be so. Brother Wuji, you said that you're treating us to the fruits. Are you still doing that? Can we start eating? Yun Chujio answered with a smile. Shui Wuji gritted his teeth and said, "Yes. Of course it counts. Let's eat." Yun Chujio cheered and grabbed a bunch of coral fruits for An Fong and An Yin, who appeared one after another. Then, she grabbed another bunch for Secret Agent Hua Hua and said, "Little Hua Hua, try this. It's sweet then sour, then sweet then sour. It's your young master's treat anyway, so don't be shy." Secret Agent Hua Hua felt that his young master's head was already faintly emitting smoke. This Yun Chujio was really too infuriating. Chapter 326, Women are afraid of marrying the wrong man. Shui Wuji's heart was bleeding as he watched the crowd eat the fruits. A small fruit costs more than 300 spirit stones. You're not eating fruit, you're eating my spirit stones. Shui Wuji saw that the fruit was rapidly decreasing, so he quickly grabbed a handful and ate it. Eating one was equivalent to earning 300 spirit stones. I'll eat them. Perhaps it was because he had spent spirit stones, but Shui Wuji felt that the fruit was indeed much sweeter than a large cart of coral fruits. The basket of coral fruits was quickly eaten up by everyone. Shui Wuji was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. "I feel uncomfortable. I just don't have to think about it." Therefore, he looked at Di Baiming with a meaningful look, then, he smiled and said, "Di Baiming, I haven't congratulated you yet. I heard that the old madam of your palace has recently invited many young ladies to your palace as guests for you to choose your concubines. Those young ladies are all socialites from the Tianyuan continent. You have so much variety of concubines to choose from. You're really lucky in love." Di Baiming said expressionlessly, "Our palace is relatively quiet and not as lively as your sect. That's why my mother would occasionally hold some banquets. The matter of choosing concubines is completely non-existent. If I were like you, I believe my mother would not be so free." Shui Wuji originally wanted to sow discord between Di Baiming and Yun Chujio, but he did not expect Di Baiming to turn it on him. He quickly explained to Yun Chujio, "Little sister Jiu, I don't have any harem. Those girls are all willing to be guests in our sect. There's nothing between them and me. At most, I'll ask them to dance and sing for me. When I marry you in the future, I'll definitely chase them away." Yun Chujio giggled, "What's the point of chasing them away? It'll be more lively with more people." It'll be great if we can form 2 Kuju teams. Little sister Jiu, do you mean that you'll agree to be with me? Shui Wuji asked excitedly. He thought to himself, what's the big deal about giving a few spirit stones? As long as I get Yun Chujio, this wretched girl, it would be the biggest insult to Di Baiming. Yun Chujio tried her best to ignore Di Baiming's cold gaze and said with a smile, Brother Wuji, you've misunderstood. I'm giving you a suggestion. In the future, if you have a girl that you like, you can do this. Little sister Jiu, it'll only take 1 scoop out of the 3,000, 1. Other than you, I won't marry anyone else. Shui Wuji said with deep affection, his eyes full of friendship. Brother Wuji, I appreciate your kindness, but I only treat you as my elder brother. Yun Chujio cursed in her heart. This flirt must have seduced many girls. Otherwise, how can he be so smooth with his words? Shui Wuji looked heartbroken and then smiled bitterly. Little sister Jiu, your words really hurt my heart. But, it doesn't matter. Brotherly love is still love. One day, you'll find that I'm the most suitable man for you. You'll find out the true face of a hypocrite sooner or later. On one hand, someone is choosing concubines in his own palace, and on the other hand, he's pretending to like you in front of you. Such a scumbag is not worthy of you, little sister Jiu. Di Baiming could not stand it anymore, and said coldly, Shui Wuji, if you don't want to die, then get lost. When Shui Wuji saw that Di Baiming finally lost his composure, he became even more spirited. Little sister Jiu, I exposed someone's true colors and he became angry out of embarrassment. Little sister Jiu, you're still young and have never seen the evil of the world. Men are afraid of entering the wrong line of work and women are afraid of marrying the wrong man. You must keep your eyes open. Chapter 327, I'll give you a poem. Di Baiming's aura suddenly changed. He stood up and took a few steps forward. Shui Wuji, isn't the lesson I taught you a few days ago enough? Do you want your demon blood sex territory to shrink by another 10%? Shui Wuji sneered. Di Baiming, are you angry because you're humiliated? Little sister Jiu, look. He's guilty. You must keep your eyes open. Yun Chujio acted as if she did not see the tense atmosphere between the two of them. She smiled and said, yes, Brother Wuji, I know. A good person like you will be rewarded. As a token of my gratitude, I'll give Brother Wuji a poem. Shui Wuji was very proud. Little sister Jiu, you are really talented. You even know how to write poems. Recite it. Di Baiming was instantly enraged when he heard that Yun Chujio was actually going to give Shui Wuji a poem. The first thing that came to his mind was the love poem that Yun Chujio had given him back then. Could it be that the black thing was also going to give Shui Wuji a poem? This was really outrageous. Yun Chujio ignored Di Baiming's dead fish eyes. 1. With her hands behind her back, she straightened her back and said loudly, Brother Wuji, listen well. Good will be rewarded for good, and evil will be rewarded for evil. Good and evil will be rewarded in the end. If you don't believe it, look up and see who will be spared by the heavens. Shui Wuji was speechless. Darn girl, are you praising me or scolding me? Why doesn't it seem like a good thing? Brother Wuji, how's my poem? It's simple, easy to understand, and full of philosophical meaning. It's too suitable for you. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The corner of Shui Wuji's eyes twitched. Little sister Jiu, why do I feel that your poem doesn't seem to be praising me, but rather cursing me? Yun Chujio's small face immediately sank. Brother Wuji, how can you say that? This poem of mine praises good people and curses evil people. Not only did you give me spirit stones, but you also reminded me not to fall for the scumbag man's trap. How can you be an evil person? You're obviously a good person with a good heart. Xue Wuji was rendered speechless. He could not possibly expose himself as someone with a bad heart, right? Xue Wuji felt that if he continued to stay here, he would definitely be angered to the point that he would vomit blood. However, he could not leave letting the two of them feel great either. I've eaten and drank here, so I'll take my leave then. Little sister Jiu, you must keep your eyes open. You mustn't accept a scumbag who has multiple faces. I'll come and visit you often. Yun Chujio waved her claws. Goodbye, brother Wuji. Remember to bring more spirit stones next time. I still have some good things to sell you. Xue Wuji originally wanted to leave Yun Chujio a cool back view, but when he heard this, he staggered and quickly left with secret agent Huahua. He looked like he was running away. Yun Chujio turned around, as if she did not see Di Baiming, and hopped into the house. Di Baiming was originally sitting on the stone bench and purposely put on a face that made people stay away from him. He was waiting for Yun Chujio to explain herself. HMH, black thing, I definitely won't forgive you easily this time. The miserable overlord did not expect Yun Chujio to ignore him. She hopped straight into the house. Di Baiming initially thought that Yun Chujio had entered the house to retrieve something. Perhaps it was a love letter or something like that. However, after waiting and waiting, Yun Chujio still did not come out. Di Baiming was so angry that his face turned green. Alright, after not seeing her for a few days, Black Thing's courage is getting bigger and bigger. Not only is she chatting and laughing with that idiot Xue Wuji, she actually dares to ignore me. I won't let her off. Di Baiming kicked the door to pieces with a loud bang and then stormed into the house angrily. Chapter 328, Male God, Sing Me a Lullaby. And Feng heard the sound of Di Baiming kicking the door, and he could not help but shrink his neck. Your Majesty, in terms of chasing girls, you're really inferior to Xue Wuji. With your pursuit, you're destined to die alone. Di Baiming entered the room and saw Yun Chujio lying on the bed, twitching as if she was crying. Di Baiming suppressed his anger and asked awkwardly, Black Thing, what are you doing? Yun Chujio raised her head. Her eyes were red and tears were streaming down her face. She grabbed the pillow in her hand and threw it at Di Baiming, sob, you're such a pervert. Leave. I don't want to see you again. Under normal circumstances, Di Baiming would definitely tear the pillow that was thrown at him into pieces. However, he was a little numb then. Black Thing was crying so sadly. What should I do? She must have heard Xue Wuji's stupid words and misunderstood me. Black Thing, Xue Wuji's stupid words aren't true. Women are the most troublesome. Why would I choose a concubine so early? Yun Chujio sneered in her heart. Humph, if you don't choose a concubine now, meaning you'll choose one sooner or later. Damn it. If I don't torture you, you won't learn your lesson. Yun Chujio allowed her tears to fall one drop at a time as she said bitterly, Prince Charming, you should go. Brother Wuji's words make sense. You're indeed not my lover. You'll meet the woman you like when you're choosing your concubine. You should go. Just let me die of sadness alone. Sob. Di Baiming felt his heart clench and he explained helplessly, Black Thing, I didn't mean that. I will not choose a concubine in the future. Sob. You're lying. You even said that you would treat me well. But not only did you glare at me, you even broke my door. How is that treating me well? Sob, living is so tiring. I might as well die. Sob, don't stop me. I'm going to hit the wall and commit suicide. Yun Chujio said as she climbed up from the bed and crashed into a wall. Di Baiming was so scared that he almost jumped out. He quickly hugged Yun Chujio. Black Thing. I was wrong. I won't kick the door anymore. I'll definitely treat you well in the future. Yun Chujio felt that the fire was almost ready. Little fellow, I'll simmer it slowly. Sooner or later, I'll make you a wife slave. Then, she rolled her eyes and pretended to faint. Di Biming was so anxious that he stuffed the pills and lost his spiritual power. Only then did Yun Chujio pretend to be weak and said, "My idol, I'm fine. I'm just a little too sad. Carry me to the bed for me to rest." Di Biming quickly put Yun Chujio gently on the bed and asked nervously, "Are you feeling better now?" Yun Chujio said weakly, "I'm alright, but I'm feeling a little stuffy." Thin blue, shiitake mushroom, 1. Thin blue, shiitake mushroom. Di Biming was confused and quickly said, "Black thing, then you should get some rest. I'll get An Fong and the others to replace the door for you. Prince Charming, I'm feeling very anxious. Sing me a lullaby." Yun Chujio said weakly. Di Biming's face turned red. "Black thing, I don't know how to sing a lullaby. Ah, my heart hurts. I can't breathe." Yun Chujio clutched her chest and cried out pitifully. Di Biming gritted his teeth and recalled the lullaby his mother sang when he was young. He sang in a low voice, "The moon is bright, the wind is still, the leaves cover the windows. The crickets are calling, just like the sound of the zither strings. The sound of the zither is light and melodious, and the cradle is swaying gently. Ah, my baby, close your eyes and sleep, sleep in your dreams." Yun Chujio almost burst out laughing. She tried hard to hold back her laughter and lay on the pillow, but she actually fell asleep slowly. Chapter 329, I must hit my head against the wall today. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio's face was still dripping with tears, so he bent down and gently kissed her. Then, he was stunned. Tears are salty, why were Black Thing's tears so spicy? Di Biming suspiciously picked up Yun Chujio's hand and looked at it. Indeed, there was a tiny bit of red chili left under her fingernails. Di Biming was so angry that he almost fainted. "Good. Very good. Black Thing, you actually used chili to trick me?" Di Biming immediately wanted to scold Yun Chujio awake. He endured it, gritted his teeth and left. Yun Chujio did not know that the truth had been exposed. After a beautiful sleep, she covered her little head in a quilt and laughed secretly. "Ha ha ha, the gigolo actually sang a lullaby for me. This idiot didn't even know how to change the lyrics. What a fucking baby. Can't he change it to My Little Jill? He's so stupid." However, the gigolo's singing was pretty good. In the future, she would make him sing a lullaby while she slept. If he did not sing, she would pretend to be sick. Anyway, no one would be able to tell what was going on because of the pain in her heart. Yes, let's do it. She fantasized about a beautiful future on the bed. Then, her stomach began to growl. Hence, she lied on the bed and pretended to be weak. Prince Charming, come in quickly. I'm so uncomfortable." Di Biming walked in with an expressionless face. He barely held back the thought of strangling Yun Chujio. He gritted his teeth and asked, "Uncomfortable again? How can we fix that?" Yun Chujio said pitifully, "Maybe I'm hungry. I won't feel uncomfortable if I eat something delicious." "Prince Charming, did you bring me something delicious? Give me a few pieces of golden cake first. I'll be down." Di Biming sneered, "Black Thing, I think it'll be better if you eat some chili noodles." Yun Chujio was instantly dumbfounded. It's over. She was exposed. How did the gigolo find out that she used chili to wipe her eyes? It was over. She had tortured the gigolo badly and even made him sing a lullaby for her. He would not let her off so easily. What should she do? This fellow's skin was unusually thick and she said nonchalantly, Prince Charming, how did you know that I put chili on my face? You really have a divine plan. It was like this. At that time, I felt extremely uncomfortable, but I wanted to cry, but there were no tears. I was afraid that I would be sullen, so I could only use chili to urge my tears. To release my sad emotions. Di Biming was furious. Black thing, you really know how to spout nonsense. You even lied to me and said that you were heartbroken. You even said that you don't want to live anymore. Didn't you want to hit the wall? Go ahead and hit it. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and pouted, Prince Charming. You really disappointed me. I didn't expect you to be such a heartless Prince Charming. Fine. I'll hit the wall now. If you have the ability, then don't stop me. Di Biming snorted. Don't worry. I won't stop you. Yun Chuzhou jumped down from the bed and hugged Di Biming's arm. She shouted shamelessly, My Prince Charming, didn't you say you won't stop me? Then why are you pulling my arm? Let go of me, I must do this today. Di Biming was speechless. Yun Chuzhou was flexible. She said obsequiously, Prince Charming, it's wrong for me to use chili to tear up, but there's something wrong with you too. Let's call it even. Humans aren't saints, how can there not be mistakes? I promise I won't do it again. Please forgive me and let this slide. Di Biming looked at Yun Chuzhou's shameless look and could not bring himself to teach her a lesson. He could only snort coldly, it won't happen again. Yun Chuzhou made a victory sign in her heart. To deal with this kind of arrogance, she had to be a little more thick-skinned. After all, honor was not worth anything. If she lost it, so be it. Chapter 330, You Won't Die With Me around Yun Chuzhou held Di Biming's arm and hopped out of the house. And Feng could not help but give Yun Chuzhou a thumbs up in his heart. Miss Chiu is really something. When we went in, he wanted to eat people. Now, the clouds have turned sunny. And Feng, please help me install the door. Otherwise, my Prince Charming will catch a cold at night. I'll feel sorry for him. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. And Feng was faced with a slew of public affection. He started to install the door sadly. As for where the door came from. Well, he took it from the other yard. Idol, are you tired? Let me massage your shoulders. Idol, are you thirsty? Let me make you a pot of tea. Idol, are you bored? Let me tell you a joke. Yun Chuzhou followed the principle of giving a sweet date with a slap, won, and tried her best to please Di Biming. The resentment in Di Biming's heart was instantly replaced by a pink, happy bubble. He felt that it would be great if Black Thing was by his side every day from then on. Only such days would be lively and more enjoyable. Yun Chuzhou saw that it was almost time, so she said pitifully, Idol, are you hungry? Let's have dinner. Di Biming was in a good mood, so he did not make things difficult for her. He immediately took out the prepared food and the two of them began to eat dinner. After dinner, Yun Chuzhou said smugly, My idol, I got a little thing from the Secret Realm trial a few days ago. It's really fun. An Feng had reported to Di Biming about Yun Chuzhou's participation in the trial, but An Feng did not know about Furry, so Di Biming raised his eyebrows. What little thing is fun? Furry, come out. Meet my idol. The ball of yarn had long been shameless for food. When it heard Yun Chuzhou's call, it immediately flew out from between Yun Chuzhou's eyebrows. Dear master. I'm coming. Di Biming looked at ball of yarn on the ground. What was this thing? A ball of yarn had turned into a spirit. Prince Charming, this ball of yarn is Furry. Isn't it fun? Furry, Roll a few times to make Prince Charming happy. If you perform well, it'll reward you with some delicious food. Furry had long forgotten about its integrity as a spirit and immediately rolled on the ground. This is a spirit. Di Baiming's eyes twitched. Why did this spirit look so unreliable? Other than acting cute, there was probably nothing else it could do. Yun Chujiu nodded. My Prince Charming, don't think that Furry is a weakling. Once I find the other 7 fragments of the Void Mirror, I'll be rich. Di Baiming was confused and asked, Void Mirror? Fragments? What do you mean? Yun Chujiu told him about the Void Mirror and Di Baiming and the other 2 were surprised. Was that not too heaven-defying? She only participated in the trial to pick some spiritual herbs, so it was fine if she got some demonic cores. This guy was great. It just gave her a whole nest of them. If the 4 great sects knew that the trial place was monopolized by someone, they would have to find Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu suddenly sighed. Pursing her lips, she said, Prince Charming, although it's a good thing to have an artifact, but that damn mirror and that strange grass aren't under my control. This ball of wool is said to be a spirit and has the ability to control space, but it can't even control the mystic realm. Di Baiming frowned. He had browsed through a lot of information and asked some mighty figures. However, he had never heard of a situation like hers. Originally, that grass was already difficult to deal with. Now, a great void mirror was living in her. It was really a case of one wave rising before the other. Yun Chujiu was rather open-minded. She giggled and said, Prince Charming, you don't have to worry. At worst, it's just death. I'll earn a day every day I live. What's the point of thinking so much? Di Baiming's expression changed and he shouted angrily, what nonsense are you spouting? With this me here, you won't die. If a demon wants to kill you, I will eliminate it. If a god wants to kill you, I will destroy it. Even if the heavens wants to destroy you, even if I have to defy the heavens, I won't allow it to touch you in the slightest. Chapter 331, Blockhead Yun Chujiu was stunned. Although when the lightning struck her last time, Di Baiming had risked his life to save her, and she had already confirmed Di Baiming's feelings toward her. When Di Baiming said those words, Yun Chujiu still felt that a corner of her frozen heart had collapsed. Although the gigolo is tsundere and he might not understand what love is, but he's sincere toward me. Although he's a little arrogant, he could still slowly get rid of that habit. Yun Chujiu's eyes were sparkling as she looked at Di Baiming. Prince Charming, I was just joking. I, Yun Chujiu, am very tough. If anyone dares to kill me, I'll use lightning to kill him. If the 2 unlucky things in my dantian wants to harm me, I'll give up my dantian and get them out of my body. Di Baiming's expression softened, don't worry, black thing. I'll definitely find a way for you. Yes, my Prince Charming. I believe in you. Yun Chujiu blinked her starry eyes and looked at Di Baiming trustfully. An Feng and An Yin had to face the public display of affection. The 2 of them looked at each other and ran to a corner to pass time. The sky gradually darkened. Yun Chujiu took a nap in the afternoon and was not sleepy at all. She shamelessly got Di Baiming to sit on the roof and look at the stars with her. The corners of An Feng and An Yin's eyes twitched. Only Miss Jiu would dare to make our Lord do such a stupid thing. Yun Chujiu put her arm behind her head and lay on the roof. She said with a smile, Prince Charming, look at the starry sky and the crescent moon. How beautiful they are. Di Baiming hummed lightly. In his opinion, he did not see what was so beautiful about some stars and the moon. He might as well go into the house and cultivate. Prince Charming, I hope that we'll be together for a long time. We're under the same starry sky. When I'm not by your side, you can look at the moon and the stars. Maybe I'm also looking at the stars. Yun Chujio decided to cultivate the romantic cells in the gigolo. Then why bother? Don't you know that I have a voice transmission talisman? Di Baiming said with slight disdain. Yun Chujio did not have any words. Damn it, this blockhead doesn't know what romance is. Yun Chujio tilted her head and glared at Di Baiming. Then, her heart started to stir. Under the starlight, Di Baiming was less tough and more gentle. His entire person was like a statue with a glowing body. It tickled the little pervert, Yun Chujio's heart. This pervert was extremely lecherous. She pounced on Di Baiming and said, "Gorgeous man, how can you let down such a beautiful scene? Come, let's relish this moment." Di Baiming was stunned at first, then he waved his sleeve. An Feng and An Yin, who were watching the show, were immediately cut off from their six senses. Di Baiming turned over and pressed Yun Chujio under his body. The hot kiss fell like a storm. After a long while, Di Baiming stopped his dizzying touches and said in a hoarse voice, "Black thing, you seduced me. Humph. I'm sleepy. I'm going back to the house to sleep." Yun Chujio pouted her slightly red and swollen lips and jumped off the roof. She ran into the house as if she was running away. She was being teased instead of being the teaser. It was so embarrassing. Di Baiming looked at Yun Chujio's panicked back and could not help but laugh at the sky. It turns out that Black Thing was also shy. It's really, cute. Di Baiming jumped down from the roof and followed her into the house. An Feng and An Yin finally returned to normal. An Feng whispered, "Our honorable sir must have been molested by Miss Jiu again. I didn't expect our honorable sir to be so good at this." Before An Yin could say anything, Di Baiming said coldly, "An Feng, it seems that you have been too free recently. I heard that there is a polar region to the north of the Qingxian continent. The polar ice fish there are delicious. Go and hunt 100 of them." Chapter 332, A Lullaby from the Prince Charming. When Yun Chujio heard about the food, she immediately added, "How can 100 of them be enough? An Feng, get more. It's best if you can get some prawns or crabs. If there are any snow lotuses or snow ginseng, get me a few hundred of them too." An Feng was about to cry. "Who told you to be mean? Who told you to be talkative?" The northern polar region was extremely cold. If he went there, he would definitely be frozen into an ice sculpture. Moreover, there were many demonic beasts in the region and they were very ferocious. If he were to go there, he would definitely be skinned alive. "Your Excellency, Miss Jiu, I was wrong. I will not spout nonsense next time. Please spare me this time." An Feng immediately began to beg for mercy. Di Baiming snorted coldly and did not speak. Yun Chujio blinked her eyes and sighed, "An Feng, actually, I also sympathize with you. But, about that, you have to show some respect, don't you?" An Feng immediately understood and said painfully, "Miss Jiu, my storage ring is too small. I really can't fit 10,000 low-grade spirit stones in it. Why don't you keep it for me first? 10,000? You can keep it yourself. You'd better go fishing." Yun Chujio said with slight disdain. An Feng gritted his teeth. "Miss Jiu, I remembered wrongly. It's 100,000. Yun Chujio giggled. "Prince Charming, I think An Feng must have been talking nonsense just now. Please don't argue with him. It'll help you massage your shoulders. Let's not lower ourselves to his level." Di Baiming saw Yun Chujio winking at him with all her might, and the corners of his mouth curled up. "It won't happen again." An Feng wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, and in his heart, he raised Yun Chujio's status by another level. The decision made by their esteemed lord was something that even the hall master and the hall master's wife could not change. He did not expect that the she would be able to change his mind so easily. In the future, the she might not only be a concubine, but might even become their esteemed empress. Inside the house, Yun Chujio was massaging Di Baiming's shoulders with all her might. As she massaged his shoulders, she mumbled, "Prince Charming, why are your shoulders so hard? Let me see. Are they all muscles?" This little pervert did not know how to take a beating. She had long forgotten about the embarrassing incident just now. As she spoke, she wanted to strip Di Baiming of his clothes. Di Baiming's expression was unnaturally angry as he scolded, "How dare you touch me? There's no need to massage anymore. Turn off the lights and go to sleep." Yun Chujio pouted, "If you don't want a massage, then so be it. It just so happens that my hands are sore from massaging it anyway." Humph. After the two of them washed up, Yun Chujio climbed into the bed and laid down obediently. Then, she said with starry eyes, "Prince Charming, sing me a lullaby. Just sing the one you sang during the day. Just change mother's baby to my little Jio." Di Baiming snorted coldly, "I haven't settled scores with you yet. How dare you bring this up?" Yun Chujio buried her head in Di Baiming's arms. "Prince Charming, it's my fault for lying to you. But your singing is so good. I've never heard such a good lullaby before. Can you sing it for me again?" When Yun Chujio acted coquettishly, Di Baiming felt his whole body go numb. Even if he were to die then and there, he would probably be happy. He coughed awkwardly. "Lie down. I will reluctantly sing once for you. But after this time, it will not happen again." Yun Chujio acknowledged, but what she thought in her heart, "HMPH, if I can make you sing once or twice, then I can make you sing for me every day. This is just the beginning. Well, see." Di Baiming's face flushed red as he began to sing. Yun Chujio, this fellow, took an inch and then a mile. She said, "Prince Charming, I still can't fall asleep. Pat me gently while you sing." Chapter 333, Successor Disciple. Di Baiming glared at her, but his hands were slowly and rhythmically patting Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio yawned and quickly fell asleep. Di Baiming kissed her on the forehead and slowly fell asleep. The next morning, Elder Chu's voice came from Yun Chujio's identity jade token. "All disciples gather at the southern Jade Square in an hour." Yun Chujio had breakfast and bid Di Baiming goodbye. She stood on the chopping board and left the courtyard. When Yun Chujio arrived, many disciples were already gathered at the southern Jade Square. When they saw Yun Chujio flying over, the new disciples greeted her one after another. She smiled and waved at everyone. Then, she jumped down from the chopping board and ran to Yun Chu and the others. Not long after, Master Xianyuan and the 5 peak masters also arrived with the elders. According to the results of this new disciple trial, you will be redistributed. I hope that you'll continue to cultivate in the future and become the backbone of Spirit Radiance sect as soon as possible. Now, Elder Chu will announce the specific names. Master Xianyuan said briefly, then, he asked Elder Chu to announce the names. The champion of this trial, Yun Chujio, has been directly promoted from a kitchen servant to Elder Sun Bozhong's successor disciple. Boom! Elder Chu's words were like a bucket of cold water poured into a pot of oil. The disciples of Spirit Radiance sect instantly exploded with commotion. The new disciples who participated in the trial were slightly better off. After all, they were very impressed that Yun Chujio was able to obtain the inner core of a Tier 8 demonic beast. However, those old disciples were very dissatisfied. On what basis? A mere servant at the 4th level of spirit enhancement actually became a true disciple in one step. Moreover, elder son Wuzhong had been in secluded cultivation. How could they possibly accept Yun Chujio as a true disciple? One had to know that elder son did not even have one single true disciple. How many inner disciples had sharpened their skills to become elder son's true disciple without success? What did this Yun Chujio have? Silence. From the 2nd to the 30th place in this trial, Liao Chuan, Amozwa, Bai Moyu, Bai Moru, Yun Chuzi, Yun Chushan, Yun Chu, Yun Chulu, Yun Chuki, Yun Chuba, Qing Si, Su Yun, Chendechuan, Xia Mufeng, Yuan Zhen. They were promoted to inner disciples. From the 30th to the 30th place, they are outer disciples. The rest of them are servants. Yun Chujio heard the names of the Bai siblings and Yun Chushan, and then she remembered what the three of them had done in the mystic realm. She could not mention the part where they framed Yun Chu, or else it might attract the suspicion of Elder Zhang of Heavenly Gate sect. It might not be a good idea to mention the part where they ran away in the face of battle either. They would use the excuse that she could escape by crushing the jade token. Looks like she would have to wait for another opportunity to get rid of them. After the meeting ended, Chen Duchuan and the other 8 people went to Yun Chujia's side and thanked her one after another. Junior sister Little Jiu, thank you very much. If you hadn't chased Su Yan ran away at that time, we wouldn't have been able to gather so many jade bell flowers, and we wouldn't have been able to advance to an inner sect disciple. In the future, if you need us in any way, just let us know. Yun Chujio looked at these 8 people. As expected, they were the few disciples of Spirit Radiance sect who did not follow Bai Moyu and the others at that time. That could be considered an indirect reward for not following the others. You're all too polite. You obtained all of this with your true abilities. There's no need to thank me. I hope that everyone will take good care of me in the future. Yun Chujio said with a smile. When Chen Dechuan and the others saw that Yun Chujio was so good with words, their impression of Yun Chujio became even better. In addition, she was now a core disciple, so everyone became even more friendly toward her. From afar, Bai Moru glared at Yun Chujio and cursed in a low voice, "This is dog shit. She's just lucky." A core disciple at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. What a joke. Chapter 334, Teach Me How to Concoct Pills. By Moya's eyes flickered a few times. Moru, watch your mouth. Yun Chujio will be in big trouble very soon. Yanren's cousin will definitely pin Zhang Xiong's death on Yun Chujio. Elder Zhang and the Heavenly Gate sect will not let this go so easily. Bai Moru stomped her feet hatefully. Brother, I understand. But this Yun Chujio is really difficult to deal with. Can Elder Zhang do it? Humph. The Heavenly Gate sect has long been dissatisfied with our Spirit Radiance sect. They just happen to use this as an excuse to make things difficult for us. I don't believe that the sect leader and the others will really have a fallout with the Heavenly Gate sect over Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio must die this time. Bai Moyu said with certainty. Oh right, there's the few male disciples who have just been promoted to the inner sect. If you have nothing to do, go and get in touch with them. It'll be useful in the future. Bai Moya's eyes flashed as he instructed. Yun Chushan was now obedient to the Bai siblings, so she naturally had no objections. Bai Moru was also happily enjoying the feeling of being adored by everyone, so she also happily agreed. Yun Chujio finally got rid of the enthusiastic Chen Duchuan and the others, and was once again surrounded by Yun Chuzi and company. After a few moments, Su Yun also joined Yun Chu and the others. She said excitedly, "Junior sister Little Jiu, it's all thanks to the things you gave us. Otherwise, how would we be able to rank in the top 30? After killing Zhang Xiong and the other 3, Yun Chujio gave the spoils of war to Yun Chu and the other 2. She asked them to divide the spoils equally among Yun Chuzi and the others. Yun Chuzhou said seriously, "Senior sister Su Yun, brothers and sisters, you must keep your mouths shut about the spoils of war that I gave you. You must remember that these things were either obtained by yourselves or picked up by others. Do you understand?" Su Yun and the others were stunned at first, then they understood Yun Chujia's intention and nodded. "Little Jiu, we understand. I'm going to the spirit herb garden to look for Elder Qi. We'll talk another day. All of you have to cultivate properly. Don't let others take us as a joke." Yun Chuzhou instructed and flew to the spirit herb garden on the chopping board. "Elder Qi. Elder Qi. I've brought you something good." Elder Qi laughed bitterly. "Little ancestor Yun, don't pull my leg. What good thing can you give me? You've almost taken away all the medicinal herbs out of my spirit herb garden." Yun Chuzhou laughed dryly. "Elder Qi, didn't I say it? I'm just an ordinary disciple of Spirit Radiance sect. Don't let it slip next time. I did borrow a lot of medicinal herbs from you, but I've really brought you something good this time. La la la, what do you think this is?" Elder Qi looked at it casually and then cried out in surprise, This is the fruit of the golden thread grass. Where did you get it?" "I got it by accident during the trial. You can use it to refine spirit replenishing pills," Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Elder Qi excitedly took the fruit. "Little Jiu, what compensation do you want?" "As long as I have it, I'll give it to you." Yun Chuzhou shook her head. "Last time, it was because of my negligence that the fruit was snatched by the red-clothed pervert. I'm trying to make up for my mistake. I don't need any compensation." Elder Qi saw that Yun Chuzhou was reasonable, so he was really not used to it for a moment. "Elder Qi, teach me how to refine pills." Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. It was really too troublesome to secretly refine pills. Elder Qi was short-handed. Moreover, he originally wanted to train Yun Chuzhou to be an apprentice alchemist. Now that Yun Chuzhou had spiritual power, it was not impossible for her to try refining pills. Yun Chuzhou had a heavenly thunder root spirit. Perhaps she really had the talent to refine pills. However, when Elder Qi thought of the poisonous smoke incident that Manager Gao had reported to him, he was somewhat uncertain. Was Yun Chuzhou really of pill refining material? Chapter 335, would definitely not release any poisonous smoke this time. How about this, little Jiu? I'll first teach you the simplest hemostatic pill to see if you have the potential to refine pills. Come with me. Elder Qi brought Yun Chuzhou directly to the pill refining room up front. Manager Gao saw that Elder Qi had arrived and hurriedly came forward to welcome him. "Elder Qi, is there anything you need? Open up an alchemy room. I want to teach Yun Chuzhou how to refine a hemostatic pill." "What the hell?" The surrounding disciples were instantly shocked. Elder Qi was a grade 8 alchemist. Not just in Spirit Radiance Sect 2. He was one of the few in the entire Qingxian continent. Now, he actually wanted to personally teach Yun Chuzhou how to refine a grade 1 hemostatic pill. Was that not overdoing it? He could just find someone else to teach her, right? Moreover, was Yun Chuzhou not already accepted as Elder Sun's personal disciple? Why did Elder Qi still want to teach her? Everyone's gazes shifted to Ding Lang, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Although Ding Lang was Elder Qi's true disciple, Elder Qi was always focused on refining pills and rarely gave him pointers. Now, he was personally giving pointers to an outsider like Yun Chuzhou. "Master, the hemostasis pill is only a grade 1 pill. There's no need to trouble you to do this. Let me teach Yun Chuzhou." A trace of malice flashed through Ding Lang's eyes. This Yun Chujio first became enemies with my younger brother, and now she's trying to humiliate me. Sooner or later, it'll cripple her. Elder Qi felt that Ding Lang's words were not without reason, so he nodded. Alright, since that's the case, I'll let you demonstrate and I'll explain it to little Jiu. Ding Lang felt even more uncomfortable in his heart. You've never cared about me this much. What kind of bewitching potion did Yun Chujio give you that you're actually so partial to her? Ding Lang demonstrated the refining method for the hemostasis pill. An hour later, Ding Lang opened the lid of the pill furnace, and a wave of medicinal fragrance wafted into the pill refining room. The disciples gathered around and cried out in surprise when they saw the pills at the bottom of the pill furnace. Heavens! An 80% success rate, and 6 of them are high-grade pills. Senior brother Ding Lang is indeed our Middle Peaks Alchemy senior. Such a success rate is too amazing. That's right, senior brother Ding Lang will advance to a grade 5 alchemist very soon. Such a talent can be said to be rare in Qingxian continent. Elder Qi nodded slightly. Ding Lang's aptitude was not bad, but he was a little impetuous. Yun Chujio, do you want to give it a try? Ding Lang pretended to be enthusiastic as he asked. Sure. This pill refinement isn't that difficult. It looks like it's similar to the congee in the big kitchen, and it's not as troublesome as stir-frying vegetables. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Since that's the case, then come over and try it. Ding Lang said disdainfully. Humph. She's just a good-for-nothing at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Does she really think that pill refinement is that simple? I want to see how she will lose her honor. Elder Qi frowned slightly. Why is this Ding Lang so reckless? Yun Chujio just watched it once. How could she possibly pick it up? This little Jiu is too much too. Did she really think that refining pills was that easy? However, it's also good in a way. She would be able to stay calm in the future if her spirit was dampened. Yun Chujio walked to the front of the pill furnace and prepared to refine pills. Manager Gao suddenly said, Yun Chujio, wait a moment. Everyone, quickly prepare the cloth and handkerchief, or else you might suffer later. Elder Qi, you should also make some preparations. Every time this Yun Chujio concocts pills, we burst into tears. It's simply comparable to poisonous smoke. Yun Chujio touched her nose unnaturally and coughed dryly. Don't worry. Don't worry. This time, it won't happen. I was just fooling around previously. With Elder Qi's explanation this time, I've already understood everything. I definitely won't release any poisonous smoke this time. The more Yun Chujio said that, the more worried the surrounding disciples became. Sure enough, everyone took out a piece of cloth and prepared to cover their mouths and noses for a while. Chapter content: add media visual text paragraph. The corners of Elder Qi's eyes could not help but twitch. Although he did not make any moves because of his identity as an elder, he was even more uncertain about Yun Chujio. It seemed that little Jiu was really not the type to refine pills. Chapter 336, This was impossible. Yun Chujio opened the alchemy furnace in a decent manner. First, she put in 2 portions of snake vines, then half of the lotus seeds, and then 1 portion of Tsingling Virginia rhizome. Elder Qi nodded slightly. Yun Chujio's memory was quite heaven-defying. The quantity and order of the herbs were exactly the same. Ding Lang, who was at the side, curled his lips in disdain. Alchemy was not a memorization exercise. The most important thing was the control of spiritual power. If the spiritual power was not well controlled, even if the herbs were put in the right place, it would be useless. Yun Chujio began to form a seal and slowly inject spiritual power into it. It looked decent. Everyone looked at each other in puzzlement. It seemed that Yun Chujio would not produce poisonous smoke this time. It seemed that this step and everything else were done correctly. Just as everyone nodded their heads, Yun Chujio opened the lid of the pill furnace, picked up a few snake vines, and threw them in. After a while, she opened the lid of the pill furnace again and threw in a few lotus seeds. Everyone's lips could not help but twitch. Did this person really think that pill refinement was the same as stir-frying vegetables? If it was bland, she would put in some salt, but if it was bitter, she would put in some sugar. The greatest taboo in pill refinement was to open the lid of the pill furnace midway. Not only would this cause the heat to dissipate, it would also waste spiritual energy. This pill would definitely be useless. Elder Qi also shook his head slightly. However, this was little Jio's first time refining, so it was inevitable that she would make mistakes. After all, an average person would only succeed after failing at least 1,000 times in pill refinement. Ding Lang's eyes flashed with pride. This Yun Chujio did not even know the most basic knowledge of refining pills. Sooner or later, her master would lose patience with her. At that time, he would cripple her with little bits of tricks. After a quarter of an hour, Yun Chujio withdrew her spiritual power and said with a smile, "Success." As Yun Chujio said this, she was about to open the lid of the pill furnace. Wait. Yun Chujio, it will take at least an hour to refine the hemostasis pill. It's not the time yet. I'm afraid that the herbs inside are probably all just juice. Manager Gao kindly reminded Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio giggled. Cooking can be divided into cooking with big and small fires. You guys simmer it slowly over a small fire which I stir-fry it in a hurry. The effect is the same. The corner of Manager Gao's eyes twitched. What nonsense! Can stir-frying and pill refinement be the same? Everyone also curled their lips. This Yun Chujio really did not know what was good for her. Manager Gao was right. Before the time was up, the medicinal herb juice definitely would not take shape. It would take at least an hour. There had never been anyone who could refine a cauldron of pills in a quarter of an hour. This Yun Chujio was just waiting to be slapped in the face. Elder Qi did not say anything because from his point of view, the cauldron of pills was definitely useless. It did not matter if it was opened earlier or later. After all, it was her first time refining, so it was normal for her to fail. Yun Chujio opened the lid of the cauldron with a smile. Immediately, a rich medicinal fragrance filled the air. Everyone thought to themselves, they did not expect the medicinal liquid to be quite so fragrant. Meddlesome disciples went forward and looked at the bottom of the alchemy furnace with disdain. Then, they were all dumbfounded. Ding Lang saw that everyone was stunned. He could not help but curl his lips in disdain. These idiots. It's just some medicinal juice. Could it be that they thought Yun Chujio could really refine pills? Elder Qi saw that Yun Chujio was still smiling and was not affected by the blow. He nodded slightly. This child's mentality was not bad. Thus, he said encouragingly, "Little Jio, refining pills isn't that easy. You have to go through thousands of failures before you can succeed. It doesn't matter if you fail this time. Continue to work hard in the future." At that moment, a disciple cried out, "No, this is impossible." This disciple's cry seemed to have woken up the rest of the stunned crowd. They also began to cry out. Chapter 337, One-Hit Wonder. How is this possible? How can Yun Chujio have 100% success rate? Yeah, and there are 8 high-grade pills. It's even better than senior brother Ding Lang's success rate and quality. How's this possible? Ding Lang heard them and shouted angrily, "You guys are talking nonsense. How can Yun Chujio?" Ding Lang walked closer and when he saw the pills at the bottom of the pill furnace, he stopped talking. He saw that there were 10 round hemostatic pills at the bottom of the pill furnace. 8 of them were high grade and 2 were middle grade. Impossible. How could this trash of a person, Yun Chujio, be more powerful than a 4th grade alchemist like him? This was impossible. When Elder Qi heard the crowd's discussion, he also came forward to take a look. An extremely shocked expression plastered his face. After being stunned for a moment, his heart shook violently. That's right. Elder Duanmu had once said that heavenly root spirits might have a hidden talent. Could it be that Yun Chujio's talent was not a photographic memory, but an astonishing talent in pill refinement? Elder Qi took out the medicinal pill at the bottom of the pill refinement cauldron and sniffed it carefully. It was true. That was a high-grade hemostatic pill. Little Jiu, refine another cauldron. Elder Qi said with a trembling voice. Yun Chujio was a little dumbfounded. She had already taken it easy. She did not even make a supreme-grade item, yet it was still so sensational. Was she too strong, or were these people too weak? Yun Chujio started making a second batch. Ding Lang came back to his senses and thought to himself that perhaps the previous batch was a lucky coincidence. This batch would definitely fail. It would definitely. The surrounding disciples also felt that the situation was a little unbelievable. Although Yun Chujio had come to the alchemy room to fiddle around a few times before, she had failed every time. How could she be so heaven-defying all of a sudden? Could it be that it was just a coincidence? Yun Chujio did the same thing and added medicinal herbs into the alchemy furnace at a leisurely pace. Then, she continued to add a few medicinal herbs from time to time. 15 minutes later, the rich medicinal fragrance once again filled the entire alchemy room. Elder Qi rushed to the front impatiently. With trembling hands, he opened the lid of the cauldron. 10 round pills appeared at the bottom of the cauldron. It was still 100% success rate. 8 high-grade pills, and 2 middle-grade pills. The crowd immediately burst into an uproar. It could be said that the first time was a fluke, but the result was the same both times. This could only mean that Yun Chujio was truly a genius in pill refining. It seems like the reason why Yun Chujio released the poisonous smoke in the past was because she was experimenting. Once she had the guidance of a master teacher, she was then heading down the correct path. That's right. Junior sister Little Jio's perseverance is worth learning from. Every time junior sister Little Jio came to practice, she would carry a huge sack of medicinal herbs on her back. The poisonous smoke was so terrifying, but she wasn't afraid at all and continued to persevere. This is the power of perseverance. In the future, junior sister Little Jio will be my idol. She will definitely become Qingxian Continent's pride in the future. Elder Qi was stunned for a moment before he laughed out loud. Good. Good. In the future, you will learn alchemy from me, Little Jio. With your talent, you'll soon surpass me. Yun Chujio said with a smile, Elder Qi, how can I compare to you? As long as I can learn half of your abilities, I'll be satisfied. Elder Qi said, good. Good. If it wasn't because of your identity, I would definitely take you in as my last disciple. However, this isn't a big deal. From tomorrow onward, as long as you have the time, come and look for me. I'll teach you everything that I've learned in my life. Ding Lang was so angry that his face turned ashen. With great difficulty, he suppressed his jealousy and asked with a smile, Master, then can I follow Yun Chujio and learn from you too? Elder Qi frowned slightly. You'd better practice on your own first. I've taught you everything I can. What's left is personal comprehension and practice. Little Jio, let's go. Follow me back to the Spirit Herb Garden. I need to ask you a few questions. Looking at Elder Qi and Yun Chujio's bouncing back, Ding Lang's eyes turned red with anger. Very good, old man. Smelly girl. Since you've humiliated me like this, don't blame me for being merciless. Chapter 338, Why is the Pill Furnace Missing? Elder Qi brought Yun Chuzhou back to his residence. After opening the isolation array, he asked, Little Jiu, why do you add medicinal herbs into the pill furnace from time to time? Elder Qi, only you would ask me to tell the truth. Actually, I discovered that the quality of the medicinal pills is closely related to the purification of the medicinal herbs. I used my spiritual sense to sense the changes in the medicinal herbs and then added the medicinal herbs according to the needs. What? Are you kidding me? Elder Qi thought that there was something wrong with his ears. A person's spiritual sense was extremely fragile, and the temperature in the pill furnace was extremely high. Sending one's spiritual sense into the pill furnace was basically no different from committing suicide. Why you said to send one's spiritual sense into the pill furnace? Elder Qi felt that he must have misheard. Yes. It's so warm and comfortable. Elder Qi, you can try it next time. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Elder Qi shook his head like a rattledrum. His spiritual sense was already damaged, so he did not want to court death. That was right. She had a heaven-defying thunder root spirit. She was not even afraid of being struck by lightning, let alone this earth fire. Elder Qi sighed and then said, refining pills in the pill refining room isn't a long-term solution. I have a pill furnace that I used in the past. Although the quality isn't great, it's enough for you to use as a beginner. Elder Qi took out a pill furnace from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou looked at it and knew that this pill furnace was very old. She then said with a straight face, Elder Qi, this pill furnace alone isn't enough. I still need refining flints. Please give me 100 or so refining flints. The corner of Elder Qi's mouth twitched slightly. This Yun Chuzhou really squeezed each opportunity dry. He heard that she won 2 million spirit stones from the Heavenly Gates sect, and she was even greedy for his refining flints. Elder Qi had no choice but to give Yun Chuzhou 100 pieces of refining flints, and then said, now, I'll explain the refining method for stasis-dissolving pills to you. Elder Qi explained and demonstrated, and finally refined 10 stasis-dissolving pills, 8 upper-grade pills and 2 middle-grade pills. Little Jiu, you try it. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. She could not be more powerful than Elder Qi, right? Then she better hide it. Thus, Yun Chuzhou finally refined 10 stasis-dissolving pills, but 7 of them were high-grade and 3 were middle-grade. Elder Qi was ecstatic. Ha! Genius! Indeed a genius in pill refining. Little Jiu, your future is limitless. Hurry up and cultivate. As your spiritual power increases, the variety of pills you can refine will increase. Yun Chuzhou nodded. Elder Qi, I understand. Then I'll head back first today. I'll come by to bother again when I have time. It's not a bother. It's not a bother. Other than the high-level spirit herbs in the spirit herb garden, feel free to use the others. If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to ask me. Elder Qi now found Yun Chuzhou pleasing to the eye. If she was not the true disciple of ancestor Linghua, he would have snatched her over to be his disciple no matter what. After Yun Chuzhou thanked him, she rode on the chopping board and returned to the dormitory. Prince Charming. Prince Charming. I'm back. Did you miss me? Does it feel like it's been 3 years since we last saw each other? Yun Chuzhou started to shout as soon as she entered the courtyard. Di Baiming was drinking tea when he heard Yun Chuzhou's words. He almost choked. Cough cough. Black thing, can't you be more calm? How are you a girl if you're constantly acting crazy? Don't you like my craziness? If I change, I'm afraid you'll regret it. Yun Chujio moved to Di Biming's side and said with a cheeky smile. Then, she snatched Di Biming's teacup and drank from it. Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio had finished drinking, so he poured another cup and continued drinking the tea nonchalantly. And Feng gestured at an een with his mouth. When the Honorable Sir met Miss Jiu, he had long forgotten all that nonsense about cleanliness. If it was anyone else who touched the teacup with their hands, the Honorable Sir would not even be able to take the teacup, let alone drink the tea. What did you do today? Di Biming asked indifferently. The results from the trial was announced. Oh right, I even pretended to learn alchemy from Elder Qi. He even gave me an alchemy furnace that he used. I'll take it out for you to see. Huh? Why is the alchemy furnace missing? That's strange. Yun Chujio exclaimed. Chapter 339, It was a monster. Yun Chujio rummaged through the storage ring for a long time. I clearly put it in this storage ring. How did it disappear? What the hell? Di Biming frowned slightly. Could it be that you put it in the other two storage rings? Yun Chujio used her divine sense to rummage through it again. No, the other two don't have it either. Could it be that the alchemy furnace could grow legs and run away? Even if it had legs, it wouldn't be able to run away. At that time, the rolling pin said weakly, Master. Master. I'll report it. Yun Chujio took out the rolling pin from the storage ring. Little Flame, what happened? The rolling pin said with a sobbing voice, Master. I agreed to it, but please don't put me and the monster in the same ring in the future. I watched it eat the alchemy furnace. Monster? What monster? Yun Chujio was confused and asked. It's your other alchemy furnace. Sob sob, it's a monster. It's so scary. Sob sob, it scared me to death. The rolling pin was obviously scared. The other alchemy furnace? Yun Chujio took out an alchemy furnace from her storage ring. It was the Heaven and Earth Universal Furnace that Di Biming gave her. Yun Chujio looked at it carefully and did not find anything unusual. Was this knit a higher grade alchemy furnace? The rolling pin said with a trembling voice, Master. Yes, that's it. It ate that alchemy furnace. Yun Chujio looked at Di Biming. Prince Charming, can this Heaven and Earth Universal Furnace eat an alchemy furnace? Di Biming frowned. That's not possible. It's impossible for an alchemy furnace to have a weapon spirit. Moreover, even if it has a weapon spirit, it wouldn't eat other alchemy furnaces. Yun Chujio was a little doubtful. After all, the rolling pin would not lie. Moreover, the alchemy furnace that Elder Qi gave her had indeed mysteriously disappeared. There was no other explanation other than being eaten by the furnace. Just as Yun Chujio was puzzled, she heard a light burp in her consciousness. Who is it? Get out here. Yun Chujio asked with her spiritual sense. Then, Yun Chujio heard baby-like sounds which seemed to be very happy. Yun Chujio was dumbfounded. Well, my God. Does the alchemy furnace really not have spiritual sense? Yun Chujio asked timidly. Of course not. Didn't I tell you before? Whether it was the earth fire or the refining flint, they all had the burning effect. That was why no alchemy furnace from ancient times ever produced a spirit. Besides, if the alchemy furnace has a spirit, how great will it be? Wouldn't that mean anyone can become a high-level alchemist? Di Biming said with certainty. Yun Chujio touched her chin and then coughed dryly. Well, my Prince Charming, I'm afraid this Heaven and Earth Universal Furnace is the first alchemy furnace with a spirit. Di Biming glared at her. Black thing, don't talk nonsense. How is this possible? Then let's test it out. Which one of you has an alchemy furnace in your storage ring? Take one out and see if the furnace eats it. Yun Chuzhou shrugged. Di Biming and the other two really did not have an alchemy furnace in their storage rings. Yun Chuzhou suddenly remembered that she put Zhang Xiong's and the other two storage bags into the storage ring that she got from Shui Wuji. She rummaged through the storage ring and found an alchemy furnace. She quickly took it out. Chapter 340, Glutton Pill Furnace. Yun Chuzhou placed the pill furnace and heaven and earth universal furnace on the stone table. Then, she said with her divine sense, "Little baby, eat." The heaven and earth furnace did not move. And Feng could not help but say, "Miss Jiu, don't joke around. It's impossible for this pill furnace to have a spirit. Besides, even if it does, it's impossible for it to eat other pill furnaces." And Feng's words came to an abrupt end as the heaven and earth universal furnace slowly approached the other furnace. What was that? This thing could move on its own. Fuck, could this be a dream? And Feng pinched himself secretly, grimacing in pain. It seemed to be real. It was not a dream. Oh my god. Everything's incredible when it came to Miss Jiu. If people knew about the pill furnace that had a spirit, would they not fight over it? With such a pill furnace, the chances of forming pills would definitely increase greatly, and the quality of the pills would also be easier to control. However, it was true that it had a spirit. Did that mean it would gnaw on other furnaces? The four people's eyes were fixed on the stone table. Seeing that no one was stopping it, the heaven and earth universal furnace began to speed up. When it approached the other alchemy furnace, the part of the ordinary alchemy furnace that was close to it visibly softened. Finally, it turned into a liquid. Then, the lid of the heaven and earth furnace opened automatically and the liquid went into the heaven and earth furnace's opening. Everyone was dumbfounded. And Feng, in particular, had his mouth wide open. His eyes were as wide as copper bells. That was not a freaking alchemy furnace. That was a monster. In a short while, that alchemy furnace had been eaten by the heaven and earth furnace. Yun Chuzhou stretched her neck and looked into it. There was nothing there, and she did not know where the juice had gone. Then, faint burps and cheerful babbling sounds could be heard in her spiritual sense. Yun Chuzhou laughed dryly, "Hee, actually it's nothing. It's just a spirit. My rolling pin has a spirit too. Eating is normal as well. Even Furry and the rolling pin eats." The rolling pin said weakly, "Master, but I can't eat another pin. Master, please don't put me with that monster. I'm so scared." Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, "Don't worry. I guess it's not interested in you. It's just eating the alchemy furnace. Otherwise, it would have eaten you long ago. Prince Charming, where did you get this heaven and earth universal furnace? I've never seen it eat before. It has been kept in the warehouse all this time. Nothing unusual has happened." Di Biming thought to himself. Could it be that it was formed after being refined by this glutton? Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, "Prince Charming, are you using the isolation array now?" Then he'll try to use this heaven and earth universal furnace to refine pills and see how it differs from an ordinary alchemy furnace. Di Biming nodded and asked An Feng and An Yin to increase their vigilance and keep an eye on the situation outside. Yun Chuzhou thought about it and decided to refine a level 4 exploding spirit pill since she had never refined an exploding spirit pill before. Yun Chuzhou took out the flint stone and lit it. She then placed the furnace on it. Initially, Yun Chuzhou was worried that the spirit would be burned to death. However, she did not expect to hear a satisfied squeak from her consciousness. It was as pleasant as eating a cold watermelon on hot days. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.